He's touched millions of children throughout multiple generations, inspiring creative play, unity, and love. Today, the love continues for the old and the new. Welcome to the Purple Rain Podcast, hosted by Best Barney Fan 2, Hedge on Stage, Tee-Riffic Tributes, and Malachi Finch. Disclaimer, this podcast has no affiliation with Mattel Incorporated. Produced by Moonlight Paradise Entertainment. Where is everybody?
That intro is everything. Do it again.
Oh, man.
Roll back.
Encore! I'm just kidding.
Oh, wild. Wow. I spoke it into existence using my imagination.
Bruh. Oh, God. This is going to be a fun one.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome, everybody.
We're off to a great start.
Told you we were going to do it.
You touched millions of children. My bad. Go ahead, King.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Purple Rain Podcast. Thank you all for attending Friday. I know it was kind of spur of the moment, but we had to get Orion on. Malachi, you are killing me right now. You're doing the blackest thing. Oh, God. But yeah, thank you all for joining us as always. I am Tee-Riffic Tributes. I'm also joined by, as he said, he is Karan, host, creator, producer, scuba diver, doctor
Ooh.
of Mr.
Lord.
K's Clubhouse.
Savior.
I'm
Okay,
kidding.
scuba diving.
We're also joined by Hedge of Hedge on Stage here on YouTube as well. And of course, Malachi, who missed out on Friday. Such a shame.
All right, the extracurricular.
All right, here's how we going. Yeah. Start right off into it.
Man. But we have a very special guest. For the first time on this podcast, we have a former cast member, but not of the original TV show.
No.
We have someone of a different vein within the world of Barney. Of course, everyone knows. Starting in 1996, Universal Studios in Orlando had an attraction titled A Day in the Park with Barney. I'm sure everyone knows by now it shut down around 2020 and has been replaced with ugly licensed DreamWorks
Everything's
material,
fine.
in my opinion. But anyway, without further ado, welcome to the podcast, Ronnie. Yay. Ronnie
Thank you all so much for having me.
Yeah, Ronnie is one of the former body actors. You can hearken to guess who he played. If you want
Maybe about
to, yeah, we don't know.
Oh, absolutely. I baby bopped my life away. Yes, I did.
I thought it was Mr.
Yeah.
Peekaboo.
Mm-mm. I didn't audition for that one. I could have, but no, I didn't audition for that. Hi. Well, yes, I worked at A Day in the Park with Barney. Actually, in 5 days, it's going to be the anniversary of my debut day in the show because I started in 2016. Yeah, I know. Isn't that? Did you all plan this? Like, this is wild.
Nah.
no, yeah. We'll take. Yes, we did.
Coincidence.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say, yeah, because like I was looking on my memories and I was like, wait a minute, August is significant. So I was tapping on my Facebook, and I was like, oh my gosh, 5 days, like 5 days. It would be 2016 is when I made my debut day. This is
That's
insane.
crazy.
That's
Good
crazy.
stuff, man.
It's crazy.
Thank you so much.
So thank you for doing this. I know when I
Of
reached
course.
out, we were kind of like just maybe he doesn't, maybe he doesn't, but I'm glad that you're here with us. So if you want to take it away, how did you get into character work itself? How did you get into
Yeah.
acting, performing? How did you come across
Okay.
doing this like the amazing attraction? Just take it away.
Gosh, this is going to be quite the story, and I tend to ramble a lot, so bear with me. But before I start, let me just start off by saying that this is my first podcast interview. Super excited. I'm nerve-sighted. Thank you all so much. And if it was any podcast I would do, it would be Purple Rain because first of all, the title is amazing. Second of all, it's just so amazing to see predominantly like, brothers like talking about Barney. It's a dream come true. And where have you all been all my life? Like it makes me so happy. So I was, and I've watched a couple of episodes, and y'all are amazing. So I was like, if there's going to be my first interview, it's going to be this one. So I said, of course, I said yes.
Yeah, thanks, man. We
Um,
appreciate it.
We do.
of
Absolutely.
course, of course. Okay, so how did I get started in all this wackiness? Okay, so I've been doing character performing for about 15 years. Um, well, to be honest, like Barney has been in my life since I was barely even one. My mother bought me my first Barney, like, yeah, like I think I was only a couple of months old. She bought me, my cousin bought me the Mother Goose tape. This was back in like 1992. The Mother Goose tape. Oh, 93. And so then I would just watch it and rewatch it over and over again. I was mesmerized and I was just hugging. This Barney doll was bigger than I was at the time. And I was just enamored by this magical character that had grown into a friend of mine. And I loved him so much that I was like starting to imitate. And like every time a song would come on, every time Mr. Knickerbocker would come on, I would get up and start doing the moves. And I would just take Barney everywhere with me. Like whether it be doing I found myself doing tiny shows at home for my family. They were so loving and so patient. But it was countless Barney shows at home. I actually, this is a story for a different time, but I also took it out in public when I was a little younger. Segue. When we were shopping at J.C. Penney's, and our mom had us in a stroller. It was me, my cousin, and my brother. And so my cousin's like, let's escape. And I was like, okay. This is what my mother told me. So I was like, okay. So then we're just running around J.C. Penney's, and I found these. And then suddenly my mom hears her name on the intercom. They're like, so and so, can you please can you please come to the guest services counter? And she's like, wait a minute, where's my child? And so then she asked my brother, who was still in the stroller, where is Ronnie? And he's like, And so then she goes to the guest service like area, and there I am doing a Barney show for all the employees. And I don't know I think I was in the middle of doing If All the Rain Drops, and they were just clapping and enjoying themselves. And she's just like, what are you doing? They're like, we loved his show so much. He's going to be Barney one day. Like, he does such a great job. And she was like, oh, thank you so much. And then she grabbed me like, what did I tell you about running off like that? I'm like, I'm sorry. And so she's like, so I learned my lesson to never run off to perform a Barney show without my mom knowing ever again. But fast forward, I collected the New York City, the Barney Live in New York City tape. I wore that out because it was specifically the Barney Live shows or what I would play on repeat again and again. And I would force my family to go and see me do shows. So I would do Barney Live in New York City. I'd be like, okay, today it's Barney's Big Surprise. And it's like, guess what? Today it's Barney's Musical Castle. And they would just literally sit there. I would cast my brother to be the other dinos, and we would just sit there and do the whole entire thing. Sometimes back-to-back features. It'd be Big Surprise into Musical Castle, and my parents were so patient. Fast forward to 1997. It was our first trip ever to Florida. We thought we were going to see just Mickey Mouse because we had never been to Disney World before. And so little did I know, my mom and dad knew that A Day in the Park with Barney had opened. I didn't know about this until we were in Universal. We turned the corner into Kid Zone. I'm trying to remember this right now. We turned the corner into Kid Zone, and then I see the Barney font. And if there's anything like a child knows, it's either what Barney looks like or the Barney font. It's iconic. And I was like, wait a minute. I got out of my stroller and I ran straight to the water fountain. It was glorious. It was like heaven. And I'm like, what's
They
going
play
on? They're
music
like,
too, right?
yeah, they were playing. Yeah, they played the soft music that plays.
As the
It's
screen.
like they honestly were still playing it when I was working there, and it made me cry every time. It's like soft music of like Imagine a Place will play like with a flute. It was
Wow.
beautiful and so
Wow.
atmospheric. It's like do 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 do. You just hear like and the birds are chirping, and that place was such an oasis of, it's just like what Barney was all about. And it like, I'll get to that in a minute. I can just write a book about it. But I got up there, the music was playing, and then I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, let's get in the line. They wouldn't tell me what was happening. And I'm like, okay. So we get in the line. I see this person named Mr. Peekaboo. I'm like, okay, what are we here for? And then I'm like, I like your song, but what are we here for? And then he's like, would you all like to go to Barney's Park? I'm like, first of all, Barney's got a park. Second of all, we're going to go. Hello? And so then we use our imagination. The doors open, and I see this park. I'm like, and the one thing about the Barney Park is that there's nothing that looks very Barney, and it looks like a normal park. That's what I loved most. It wasn't like very flashy. You were just like in an ordinary park. And so he just tells us to use our imagination and to just chant Barney's name. And I'm like, okay. And so then it gets dark. I ain't about the darkness. So I get scared, and I suddenly see stars swirling around, and I'm like, what's happening? And then you hear the, I'm like, what is happening? And then he just explodes right in front of me, and he is everything I dreamed. He is huge. I'm in front row, and the Barney theme song, which is my favorite song in the Barney franchise, it's my favorite, starts to play, and I'm like, we are seeing every show. We were seeing every show. And back then they had like 10 showings. And my parents paid a whole theme park ticket for Universal to do 8 Barney shows, 9 or 8 Barney shows. And I went to Barney's Park. I was like playing with the confetti, just like running around, playing with other kids. And I didn't want to leave. It was at the end of the day, and I was crying. I'm like, I don't want to leave this place of my dreams. And then one of the workers were like, you know, there's something in you, like there's something about you. You're just so wonderful. You're gonna like maybe one day you'll join us one day. And I always thought about that. And I'm like, oh, I mean, I would love to. I'm like, can I spend the night over at Barney Park? I would love to do that. But fast forward, I started getting into costume character work because my love for performing didn't stop, primarily trying to bring characters to life, because it's a whole like different sort of responsibility and just a thrill you get in like watching the eyes of somebody's favorite character come to life before their very eyes that you just can't get anywhere else. Like, yeah, you know, if you're performing on stage as yourself, it's great, but to be an icon and to be a world famous character that people connect with and look up to, and to see that twinkle in their eye, it's indescribable. And so I started doing character parties. Then I started working when I was 16. I said I was going to work at Chuck E. Cheese because I wanted to hang out with Chucky. And I hiked through the snow. And it was back in 2011. I hiked through the snow in Chicago weather, which is brutal. And then they were asking me, I was like, I want a job. I want to, you know, hang out with Chuck E. Cheese. And they were like, can you do the Cupid Shuffle? I'm like, I was born to do the Cupid Shuffle. And so I Cupid shuffled my life away, and I got the job. And it was my first like professional, like getting paid, like, you know, to do birthday shows and little shows in the store. And then I was like, my brother and I growing up, we always wanted to work for Disney. And it was getting to the point where I was getting out of high school and getting into college. And so I heard about the Disney College program, and I heard they had a character performer role there. And so I ended up auditioning. I had to audition a couple of times. The first time I did not get it. But then I was in attractions for the 2013 season of my college program. I auditioned a couple of more times, and I was getting frustrated because I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I've auditioned like 9 times already for this entertainment role. What's going on? And I was beating myself up. But it goes to show you that things happen for a reason, because when I graduated college, you can do one more college program with Disney when you after you graduate. And I auditioned one more time. And then I got accepted because at first I was an attendant, but then they told me that my role had changed to a performer. And I was like, oh my God, my dream. Like my brother and I, we would like, you know, rehearse like Disney. We would always like do fun Disney parade and shows in our living room, dreaming of one day we could hang out with the characters over there. And it was finally coming true. And my brother, he actually moved to California and ended up working at Disneyland out in California because he was also studying to be an animator as well.
For those,
so we both
real
what was
quick, for that audition process that you had to go through, what was that like? Like what kind of, you said you auditioned like 8 or 9 times. You know,
Yes.
what was the audition process like? What did you have to do for that?
Okay, for Disney, it's like you're in a hall, like a whole dance hall full of people. um One by one they teach you the you do a movement exercise, and it's like basic movement. You'll start like a skip, and then you'll put your arms in the air. You'll probably do a couple of V's and then a box step. And after they teach you the movement combination, then you move over to the animation exercise, because they want to see how big you can be. Because, it's a difference if you're like, waving like this, as opposed to being in character and waving like that. It's two totally different things. And they want to see if you could bring a costume to life. And so they give you different scenarios. There's washing a dog, there's washing a car, planting a tree, anything you can think of. And so they let you take some time to think about a animation exercise. It needs to have a beginning, middle, and end. And so you'll do it in front of them, and then the choreographer in the middle of your animation exercise will go 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you have to go straight into the movement combination. So it'll be to music, but you just got to make sure that you get through your beginning, middle, and end of your animation exercise before she says 5, 6, 7, 8. You got to hit that dance combo. And so then after that, you go to, if you're chosen to stay, you'll learn an intermediate dance into the animation exercise. And then if you're asked to stay again, you'll do a more intense, advanced dance exercise. And if you were like kept in the middle, if you did the intermediate dance call, that means you were considered to like stay. It was the first one was to weed out the ones that really didn't, couldn't keep rhythm. So then they weeded those out. Then the ones that did the intermediate, they were chose to stay. And then and then even if you weren't asked to do the advanced dance call, that doesn't necessarily mean that you didn't get it. You were like put in a pool, like a character pool of like, okay, this person's good. We'll keep them, in mind for other stuff. And I think the reason why it took me so long, because my brother and I were thinking about it at the time. Disney's very strict on heights, because to be friends, as the friends with the characters, a lot of them are specific height. And we were about 70.5. And to hang out with Goofy, you need to be like at least 71 inches. And so they kept on measuring me, because there's your height and then there's your Disney height. And the Disney height is wherever, they measure you at. And so sometimes we're like, oh, maybe if I go in the morning, I'm a little bit taller in the morning. So we were like calculating all this stuff. Like, what do I got to do? Like, do we have to like, do really early morning auditions, or do we do later auditions? So it was trying to configure all that out. But I guess that with that one audition, I stretched my life away, and I just made it to 71 inches, because that's when I got that specific audition after I graduated college. So, oh, yes, I was a little friend of Goofy's, because he's very tall. So I was definitely a little friend of his. But it was a life-changing experience. I got a chance to do so many things, from the Move It, Shake It, Dance and Play It Street Party. I did Mickey's Royal Friendship Fair, Festival of Fantasy. I did meet and greets and dining stuff. I got to play a pirate a couple of times. Hung out with some stormtroopers. And then in the middle of that, I think, what was it? It was 2016. So a year in of doing the Disney College program, living my best life. Um, I kid you not, I was asleep, and as I was waking up, the sun was glowing on my phone, and I'm like, okay, let me grab it before it overheats.
Oh,
Listen, because this sounds like I'm making stuff up, but I'm not. It's like, it was shining on my phone, and I'm like looking, I'm like, oh, I have an email. And it said Universal Auditions. And I was like, because I had like put myself on the audition list, because I was just a Disney person through and through. I wasn't thinking about no Universal. And then, I was like, I'll sign up anyway. Happy I did, because it said Universal Auditions, a day in the park with Barney. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I looked, I'm like, okay, but this can't be. They're probably looking for Baby Bob, BJ. Oh, they were looking for Barney. And I was like, oh, okay. I started shaking, and I'm like, do I go? Yeah, I go. And so, and actually, it was my second time seeing the notice, because during my first college program, they had they had auditions, but Disney's really wonky about you if you're doing a college program being employed by somebody else. But by this time, I was a full-time cast member, and to survive in Orlando, Florida, you can't just be working at Disney World. You need to work at Universal, SeaWorld. Everybody double and triple dips. And so I was like, I'm going to audition for this. This is a dream come true. I've basically prepared my whole entire life for this. I'm going to see what happens. And so I go to the
Before you get
audition. Oh, go ahead.
before
So
you get
I
into that,
ramble.
no, you're good. Before you get into that, did you like discover how the costume like operates by this point?
I didn't know anything, to be honest. I didn't know anything
Gotcha.
until I got there. Um, until I literally got there. Then I'm like, oh my God, this is how it works. And I heard lore about, the bite bar, but I didn't really know
Mhm.
about much of anything. I was like, I'm gonna find out today. And so
Yeah, yeah.
and so I went to the audition. It was my first time going backstage to Universal. I'm like, oh, this is not like Disney at all. This is wild. They got a Starbucks, and we go into the hall. Yeah, they got a Starbucks back there, and it is very nice. Um, and then we go into this audition hall. There's about like 15, 20 people. And then the casting director is like, okay, so we're casting for our beloved show, A Day in the Park with Barney. It's been running for more than 20 years. Because I would always I had an annual pass, and I would always go and watch the show. And I started making friends with a lot of the people in the cast. And so I was like, this is my chance. So then she's like, it's for our beloved show, A Day in the Park with Barney. We're looking for enthusiasm. The Barney group, they're very tight knit. They're a family. So we want to see if you all, have the heart and, can bring this iconic character to life. And I'm like, I want to do it so bad. Let's go. And so we did a musical theater combination. I don't remember any of the choreography, but then the last couple of counts, she was like, okay, so this is your free space to do anything Barney would do. And so I was like, period. And so I went. So we got through doing our little musical theater combination. And so then I did a belt kick, I did some spins and everything. And I could see in her face, she was like, okay, cool. And I was like, aching because I was giving it my all. They're like, okay, thank you all so much. We'll get in contact with you within the next couple of days. So I was like, okay. So then I decided to just go and treat myself to a night at Universal. And I was on the Mummy. I was getting ready to go. It was that same day. So I was on the Mummy, about to go on the ride. And then I get a buzz. And then I'm looking and it says Universal auditions callback. And I was like, huh? And it was like, roll. And it said roll Barney. And I was like, okay, this is wild. Okay, I didn't think I would. I mean, thought I would get this far, but I didn't know I was going to get this far. And so then they were like, so meet us here. We're going to go into the Barney trailer behind the attraction for fittings and basically to see how you move in the costume. And I was like, this is absolutely wild. So then the day of the callback happens. I am shuttled to the Barney. To the Barney venue, which is wild because it's tucked away in a corner of Universal, not bothering anybody. It's just so cute, just tucked away in the bushels of Universal. And so we get into the back and we go inside the trailer, and y'all, this trailer was something out of the early 90s. Like it had been untouched. There was like couches that looked like it was still from the 90s. They had VHS, they had cassette players. Some of these people had opened this attraction, and this was like their home still. And it was just like a mini apartment, like a mini studio apartment. Like you open the door, there's a TV to the left with a cassette player, a DVD player, there's couches. Down the hall, there's like laundry where they do all of they basically clean our undergarments and whatnot. Then straight ahead, there's a kitchen where you can cook food.
It's like a
But
time
then we
machine
dive
there.
it was wild. And there was a couple of like Barney cassettes, like, for reference in there. And then, they had some Barney decorations throughout trailer. It was super cute. I'm like, this is amazing. And so we turned to the right because we went into what we call the barnyard. And so inside the barnyard is where we keep or I think we also call it the dino den. Anyway, it's these two like sliding doors, and that's where all the costumes are. And so there's different sections. So you'll pass some mirrors where we warm up. And then once you pass the mirrors and warm up section, there's a couple of cubicles. And there's two aisles are full of Baby Bop costumes, and two aisles are full of BJ costumes. And then on the opposite side is a whole rack of Barneys. There was six total that were hanging up on a rack. And the first three were for seasonal performers, or like performers that come every now and then to do the show but are not really regulars. And then the other one were contracted Barney suits, so the ones that were contracted to be there a specific amount of days, it was basically like being full-time. And you're able to have a specific suit for you. And so it's wild. And we we each got a chance to put on the costume. And so in order to do that, you go through Barney's
But
crotch, the butt.
yeah,
And so you split the legs open because they're
Barney's drinking.
hung together by Velcro. Just like that. Oh my gosh, I'm reliving my memories.
Talking about
Um, and
Talking
so
about in
you
it.
work your way through the body. And so I'm trying to remember this because this was like years ago, y'all. So I'm trying to remember. You feel like straps, and these straps are like it's basically like a backpack, and that's attached to like a frame that helps support Barney's back and gives him, he's able to stand upright. And so there was a buckle here, and a tiny buckle here, and then a buckle around my waist. And then you're able to tie the buckles really tight. And I loved doing that because the tighter it is, the more control you have over Barney. So when you're doing those swishes, it's like you and him are one. So a lot of people are like, why are you tightening it, like pulling it so tight? I'm like, because I want to make sure that if I'm doing anything quick or doing any, like, making any sort of quick animation, Barney is literally the same. There's no delay. It doesn't feel like I'm swimming in the suit. And so I remember she told me, okay, buckle yourself
before you,
in. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Before we continue, because
No.
Anthony just asked, because he's just now figuring out how to get into Barney. So if you look closely, and they do a good job of hiding it. If you watch the show, there's either Velcro seams or a zipper.
It's
Both.
Either one
both
of those.
actually.
Both of them.
So it's like
Okay.
it's like Velcro, and then I think there was like a zipper used. All I know is that those costumes are really old over time, and
Mhm.
so sometimes they'll go and get refurbished. But especially in the latter years of me doing the show, the Velcro was starting to weigh down, like right
Wear
in the
down.
crotch, and so sometimes I was told to calm down because I was very exuberant, and I'm like. I came here today to at least do my best. I'm not going to be like him because he's iconic. Like, I'm going to give you my best joiner, and I'm going to do my best. And the costume itself just couldn't handle it at times. When I first started, it was fine, but it's just over time. I don't know if
Mhm.
they knew that Barney, because there have been rumors that Barney was going to close even earlier than it did. So I think people just kind of like, started like not taking care of it. I don't know. But we had an amazing wardrobe team, and they were super nice. It's just like, I guess it was over time, the Velcro would just undo itself. And then if you were looking at a specific spot, you could see a hole in
Mhm.
Barney's crotch, or like a black hole in Barney's crotch. But in the TV show, they, like you said, they hide it very well.
Because it's usually
Um,
like I think it's like the zipper first, and then the Velcro covers the zipper. But the zipper
yes.
only comes up so far to the crotch area. It doesn't actually close all the way. That's
No.
what the Velcro is for.
That's what the Velcro is for. Yes. And so I know over time, yeah, it just got a little bit finicky, and they're just like, hey, um, just calm down a little bit. And I'm like, I don't want to, but I don't want to, like, because every time I found myself like going off stage to fix my crotch and then having to come back on stage because it just got really wild out there. I even downed a show one time. It was wild. I'll get into that later. Um, but going back to my callback, it was after you get all that on, the wardrobe head will tell you to hunch your shoulders, like pull your shoulders up, because in Barney's head, there's a little loop that hooks him to the rack. And so she unhooks me. She puts the little noodle back in my head, and then all the way to Barney comes down. He's about like 75, 80 pounds. Um, that's I'm just like, oof. But luckily there's like padding, there's like shoulder padding that's right here. So it's like, even though you feel the weight, they make sure that there's enough cushion for your shoulders. And then I'll kind of just like feel out things a little bit. And luckily, the rumors are true. There are two fans within Barney, and you just activate them by clicking with your head. So it's like, you'll go, and then they'll go, "Fee," and I'm like, wonderful. And it might seem wonderful, but like when you're like jumping and leaping in the air, it starts feeling less like a vacation and more like a hot car with the windows up in Florida in July, and it's 100 degrees out. So it's just cold. It's just warm, hot air blowing on you within the first 5 minutes. Like I remember during Imagine a Place, before Baby Bop comes on, I'm like, I'm kind of ready to time out already because I'm like, it's
Jeez.
hot. And but anyway, back to my audition. So they had each Barney go across the floor and like, walk just to get used to the feet. And then they wanted us to turn around, come back, and walk as Barney. And so, some of the guys, a lot of people weren't used to the shoes either, because the shoes, they're basically Reeboks or something with like Velcro on the ends, on the bottoms. And so you just basically Velcro those to the bottom of Barney shoes. And I believe there's a clip just to secure it. And depending on how reliable the Velcro is, you could find yourself swishing around at times. Unless you got some new Velcro, then it was fabulous. So some people, I don't know if it was just the weight of Barney's feet, because it's also a little heavy, like the feet in itself. It was like an extra like 8 pounds, 5 or 8 pounds on your feet. So like, doing those jumps and everything, you literally gotta like work. And so what else? And so then some people were like trudging and walking along because they're just trying to like work with these big feet. And I'm like, before we started, I was like kind of like getting my footing, and I was gauging because I'm used to working with character feet. So I'm like, okay, this is what we're working with. So then I go and I start prancing, but I don't walk. I start skipping because Barney skips wherever he goes. And so then I could hear the casting directors go, "Oh, okay." And so when I went to the other side, then I did a spin, and they were like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Okay, seems to be good." I didn't die, and so then she was like, "Okay, now we're gonna try moving the bite bar," and I was like, "Oh, that's right." And so the bite bar, once you're in there, you'll see this bar that's like located right here, that's attached to Barney's jaw. And we wrap towels, like cushioned towels around it. And depending on how much of a grip you want, you can either do like 2 or 3. I liked doing 2 because I liked the looseness, because I was able to like really hit those syllables. And so it's like literally, it's so I would be performing. And also, if I'm animating like this is how much arms I have with Barney. So it's like when I'm animating like this, I go, I grab the right bar, and I'm like, this. And so you're doing all. This looks ugly, y'all. So I wish we had a camera inside there so you could see us. So I'm going, oh, this is gonna be great. Oh, no, it's like I go like this. I go, oh boy, this is gonna be great. And I'm doing all this, and I'm contorting my back. A it's a juggling sort of. It's a
Was
circus.
was it a metal bar, or was it like kind of hard plastic?
It was a
Like
metal
PCB
bar.
or something.
It was metal. Okay.
Okay.
To my knowledge, it was metal, and so it had like the spiky Velcro, and then they would attach the sponges to give us some cushion, um,
Okay.
and
I'm
so
glad
they
you
would be
said
like,
that because me and Head the other day, we were just kind of determining like how they switched those sponges out, because there was a story
"Yes,
about David Joyner doing an event and then Carrie Stinson doing the same exact event in the same costume.
oh boy,
like within minutes.
Hello.
So he
Are
takes
you
it, he takes it off.
serious?
Barry puts it on. Yeah.
Oh
So we're
my
just thinking like,
gosh.
oh,
Okay, listen, I'm
yeah,
triggered
there was
by that
definitely a
because
family.
like literally, because I've had to. There were times where I was called in to help cover the rest of shows because either somebody got sick, and so they're like, their costume's the only one available, and I'm like, okay. And so luckily, I had been working at Chuck E. Cheese for so long, and we only got one Chuck E. Cheese costume, and you're wearing everybody's sweat, and I'm like, well, it's a good thing
Yeah.
I'm a veteran with this. Disney does not do that. Disney, we have our specific that part. Period. Why wasn't I thinking? Why didn't I have a bag that had Clorox in it? I was just like, okay, well, hopefully, here goes my deodorant. Let's find out what happens. I'm just gonna take a shower tonight. And specifically for a contracted Barney, they booby trapped the heck out of their costume because everybody fits it differently, and some things that work for people are not going to work for other people. So the way they had I remember, I don't know, the way they had their backpack maneuvered was just weird. And the Barney I would use, when I would be performing, because again, I would use the seasonal ones, and they weren't kind of they weren't as cute looking as the contracted ones. I remember my friend Jay, he had a beautiful one. Like it looked straight out of the TV show, and it was just pristine and beautiful. The mouth was great. And but the thing is with him, it's like, and even with the other contracted Barney, they literally booby trap the heck out of it. So there'd be like pads that they use for the arms, because for some reason I didn't have pads in the one I used. I would only have the arm pads for when I was in a contracted one. I don't know why. I wish I should have probably requested arm pads, but I didn't. I don't know why I didn't do that. But so then it was like getting used to the arm pads, trying to maneuver their costume around because I don't want to mess up their costume too tough, because when they get back in it the next day, I don't want them being like, hey, like everything's ruined. Because you're only in there for a couple of shows. So I was like, just to be respectful and courteous. So those shows were a little rougher. So I totally get like it's a little wild jumping in after somebody has been in said costume, because it's also very wet. It's very wet. And it's a little smelly. They like I said, our wardrobe heads were wonderful in making sure that if we were covering anything, there was a fan underneath Barney's butt, and it was getting air all the way up to the top. They were like, "What do you need from us?" They were fabulous, and I'm just very thankful for them. But yeah. Where am I going with this? Then I remember backtracking. I was working at Disney as hanging out with the stormtroopers, and we had just got through doing a show. And then I get a buzz from my phone, and it says congratulations, and I'm like, oh, this is Universal. Congratulations. And I'm like, for what? And so then I go to a bathroom, and it says, it says a day in the park with Barney. Congratulations, you have been selected to be Barney in a day in the park with Barney. And I sobbed in the stall for about 15 minutes, and then went back on stage and
I would have
started.
lost it. I wouldn't even been able to go back to work that day. I would have
Like
lost
people
it.
are like, "What's wrong?" They were
Lord
they were
Vader.
trying to talk to me. Like they were like, even we were out on set, we're on patrol, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I'm like, I can't think right now. I'm about to be a purple dinosaur. I don't care about this Tupperware. I want to be a, I'm
Lord
gonna be a
Vader.
dinosaur.
I'm going to play with the kids.
And so, and then I went to get my ID, and I was officially a team member for Universal. And then rehearsals, it was so much fun. Rehearsals were so much fun. Everybody, I was able to meet people that had like opened the attraction. One of the baby bops, he was there. He and another baby bop was there since the show opened. They worked with Carrie. Actually,
Lauren Mayo, I think, was there, right?
Lauren, yes, I love Lauren, and I miss her so much. I found
believe she was-
out.
She was there before she went to the series for season 13, and then she came back after the series ended, right?
Yes, because we were like taking a break one time from doing shows, and she's like, "Oh yeah, when I worked with Carrie and stuff," and I was like, "Work with Carrie? What are you talking about?" She was like, because I didn't know she was on the TV show. She's like, "Oh yeah, I did Barney and Friends." I was like, when? And she's like,
Where?
I mean, I was like, when?
Who were you there?
Not too long ago. She started showing me
What are you talking
pictures, and
about?
I'm like, Lauren, you're on V-Bar. Like, what? And so, yeah, so I got to hang out. I loved doing shows with Lauren. Lauren was a bundle of energy. I know during the Christmas show, she was famous for her Baby Bop toe touches. It was everything. Don't ask me how Baby Bop did a toe touch, but Lauren made it happen, and it was everything.
She's
Um,
super good too because she did that obviously. Then she did the series, and then after the
yeah,
series, and she was also, I believe, on the Birthday Bash tour that they did.
yeah, and she was showing me pictures from that and talking about
Everywhere, yeah.
the costumes. And just like and I saw pictures of them because I think that was the first time I had like seen pictures from that tour. And I saw
Mhm.
pictures from it and I was like,
Ooh, look
oh,
at those. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
wow.
interesting.
Barney
Those
really fell
vids
off.
are interesting. I'm like, what happened
Didn't
to
the
his
first
face?
What happened?
Then the first stretch of that tour, people were asking for their money back because they were like, "That's not Barney."
Yeah,
Yes, they were like, that's not Barney. So then they had to work.
That's thick.
they had to
Then
get
they
the
had this.
hit suit.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying they had to then eventually get an actual hit Barney suit to come in because
Yes.
No, because the one before they finally like made a more accurate cartoonish looking Barney.
right,
Yeah.
but people still didn't.
It still had the did
Yeah.
it still have the little the is it called a
The bow
dicky? What
tie.
is that? Bow
The
tie,
bow
there it
tie.
goes. And I was like, okay, we're there. But his body was still a little wild. And
Yeah.
so then they went and did a more show accurate one, but I think he was still doing like
the bicycle bar.
the bicycle bar, which is what I ended up using when I toured with Sesame Street Live, and those are absolutely wild. I will get to that a little bit, but but yeah, found out she. Oh, I'm sorry. Was somebody talking? I talk a lot, by the way.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
you're good. We have some questions from the chat, but finish your story first, and then we'll ask some of the questions that they're asking.
Lovely. Okay. Oh, also, I was going to say that my friend who was with Baby Bop, they were Baby Bop in this actually, because I showed them the. He's like, "Oh yeah, I did the souvenir thing." I was like, "Wait a minute, are you serious? Like the souvenir book?" And I was like, "I think I have it at home somewhere," and I just found this not too long ago when I was at home. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's still in really good condition. Look at him living his best life, y'all.
Period.
Wow.
Good.
I love the
Okay.
logo on the front being
I'm
that
jealous.
sort of reflective silver. That's really cool.
Yeah, I was
It
ready to
literally
say
caught my eye. This was back. We got this back in 1997, and like that's what caught my eye and wanted me to buy. I'm like, Mom, we need this, and she's like,
Mhm.
okay, because she promised me one thing because I would have bought the whole store out. But she was like, we can get this. Oh wait, my favorite picture in this actually is I have two favorite pictures. One is this. I love this
I
one.
love that
Mm.
picture.
Iconic.
Isn't it
I love
iconic?
it.
I wish we had. I mean, our suits were beautiful, but I'm like, there's something about that night that promo
It has that
this
season 3, 4-ish look. So
Yes. It's gorgeous. Oh my god, like look at it.
Oh.
Look at this.
that's the one Hedge
It's
don't like with the
gorgeous.
fat mouth.
Wait, whatever.
That's the one with the mouth on the car video. That
Oh,
It's fabulous. You said the like
we were
It's
just
funny
And,
when one of the last videos my parents bought me was Land of Make Believe, and it was a VHS, and you could tell it was a Barney produced video and whatever, but they were clearly also trying to promote Universal Studios. It's like the one
Yes.
and only commercial at the beginning. It's like, come to Universal Studios for like 3 minutes, and
Yeah.
they do like a little Barney
Yeah.
segment the whole time.
All
I'm
the
like,
rides and everything.
the whole time
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, this place is amazing.
They had so many promo suits for like the commercials, the books, and
Yes.
like you see like so many different suits. Like,
Yeah,
didn't they do like a little "I love you" thing to promote?
that
Yeah.
always gets me.
There
Yeah.
was there was all of them singing "I love you." There's this one Barney they used that I was not a fan of. I call him
he looked
Boxy Barney.
crazy.
He was
Yeah.
wild. But I love this one that they used for the souvenir
For
books.
sure.
Like I think he was there during because there's a video on YouTube that was there from like one of the opening shows, and it features I think this suit. It's really nice.
Far too many promo suits from Mattel to still be using the same stupid image over and over.
Also peeped the one eyelid that was up more than the other one, and I'm like, Split Town. I love you, but it's like all I see is this. So
Bro,
I'm like,
Oh my
oh, Boxy
god!
Oh,
Barney.
Yeah, that was so weird,
Yeah, that
dude.
was awful.
Look
What's
at
interesting
his
about
dog.
that?
And it moves like
I
an
don't.
animatronic too, which is weird.
When did a
Yeah.
day in the park open? Was
Yeah.
that 95?
96.
It was, it
96.
was
96?
95 actually. Holiday
Oh.
in the Park with Barney,
Oh.
I believe, was 96.
So that suit in there looks like it was made before they made the pre-made skull, which would be used for Imagination Island and season
Yes.
3 and everything after.
Which
So that
Mhm.
looks like the season 1 era. Like they were
It
trying to
says it's
replicate that.
inspired
environment.
off
Replicate
of
that
season
one.
2. It says
Mhm.
it's inspired from season 2.
Which-
reading.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
which
Okay.
kind of goes off what Karan was saying, because if that is the case, like they made it before the park even opened,
Yeah.
and we all know like Shell and Irene Corey, they were very like intuitive of like who they give the blueprints to.
Yeah.
So they probably hired some contractor who were like, all right, build it the best way we can. We'll put in like some mechanics to make it seem like, you know, how it is on the show, but
But you remember
Yeah.
him and Baby Bob, they performed there in like 92 or 93
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
So it could have been like
Gosh, I wish I
something
could have
like
seen that. Oh my gosh. Like seeing the videos, like
That's
that
right,
is so
yeah.
lit. And then he also performed in Universal Hollywood as well. So he was like at both parks.
Yeah.
He was living his best
Mhm.
life. Like that was, oh
Real
my
bad.
gosh.
it is
Um,
crazy the connection with Barney and that company specifically,
Yeah.
because you had the parade, the attraction, they own the movie. They did, Imagination Island on NBC. Peacock has some episodes right now. You know, the documentary is on there, so it's like there's always
Yeah.
a correlation, which frustrates me because I'm like,
Won't pick
just
up
put
Barney
the new
Ball.
show on there.
On there.
Well, they were doing all of that when they had a
Mm.
good show and a reason to actually do it.
Mm.
Now they don't have a good show.
Oh, I'm dead.
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. Before we get to questions, I'm so sorry. I keep rambling, y'all. I'm so sorry. What happened? And then I make my debut day. It is surreal because my family came down to see it. And when you're on that stage, it's like, granted they have like, like little, I call them little nooks where you can like, if you brush your feet, it's like it catches you. So a lot of people are like, oh, you're
Yeah.
gonna fall. I'm like, I mean, we did like a movement exercise just to know how far we can and cannot go. But it's just so surreal because every section of the theater, when you're in that thing, looks the same. And so you have to find landmarks. So I'm looking for the Rangers outpost. I'm looking for a specific tree. And I'm like, okay, because the way they choreograph the show, Barney, you're supposed to move we have 3 pies. So there's 1 pie, 2 pie, and 3 pie. And it's imperative that, when Barney's saying one line, it's like, what is it? Hi, everybody. Oh, boy, it's great to be here with all my special friends. I'm so glad you need to move over on that side. It's like choreographed that way.
Yeah.
Just so everybody, especially back in the day when the lines were wild, so everybody can get an equal amount of time to see Barney and capture pictures of the show and get, a really good video. But yeah, that show
Real
was just
quick.
wonderful. Oh, go ahead.
Real quick, I don't mean to keep interrupting. I'm sorry, but
No, I'm
I do
sorry
have
for
to-
rambling.
I know they changed the lines like throughout the years, like kind of like
Yes.
excerpted some lines and whatnot. Was there
Yeah.
ever like, did you have to like rehearse for that? There was like a specific change and whatnot. Was there also a time when they started switching to voice actors? Was there ever like we maybe need to like redo some of this so to get the Dean voice in, or is it just like,
I
let's just keep it
know
consistent?
right. When I was there, like it had already been changed to Peekaboo, just to like, help include Mrs. Peekaboo, who I equally love. She's a good time. And so just to make it so as if there's a Mr. Peekaboo and Mrs. Peekaboo, that line is fine. As far as the voice actors, they really, I guess that Barney show was scripted so well that it
Yes.
included all of Barney's, at that time, greatest hits and still memorable hits and songs that people could get up and dance to, that it still resonated with with the same values that the TV show still had at the same time. So I guess I really don't think they had any mindset to like change it. And I think over time, Universal was shifting to more of Harry Potter, and they're busy with, Harry Potter, Islands of Adventure. They weren't thinking about Barney at that time. So
And
they're just
Gotcha.
like, people are still like, coming to see the show, and it's still doing pretty good, every now, especially during the holidays. Like it was packed for the holidays. And so they were like, we'll just keep Bob and everybody else. I did
Leonard,
remember what were they saying? I think I was talking with T no, the baby bop that opened the show. One of the baby bops, they were saying how the voice actors were like, or was it Lauren that told me how the voice actors, they were like, we begged them, we tried to tell them to if we could re-record the lines, because you'll hear in the show, they sound very, in the normal Barney live shows, he's like, hi everybody, whoa, this is great. And this one he's like, hi everyone, this is them. No, like, oh, this
sounds
is
like
my
Very
they're
mellow.
part. It's very tamed. And so I think the same with like Julie and Patty. And so I think they were like, so we just redo it, because we didn't know it was going to be for like, I think that, I don't know if they didn't know it was going to be like something like this. Cause when you do voiceover work, it's like sometimes they tell you what the project is and sometimes they don't. I don't know what the reasoning was, but they were just like, we want to have the opportunity to kind of just like give it a little bit more energy. And they were like, that's fine. And so they're like,
I think it's just
okay.
funny to me. I think it's just funny to me because you go in, you watch the show, it's Bob's voice, and you go into the gift shop, and all you hear is "Oh boy!" It's like that
Nothing
is
but
two completely different
nothing but
people.
Dean. Yeah, it's wild. And so, like, especially for like Barney fans like us, we're just like how dogs cock their head, like, this is not what I'm. We like consistency, but no, love Dean's work and what he's done. But what was it? Oh my gosh, I almost brain farted. Okay, there we go. But then you'll hear in the holiday show, A Holiday in the Park with Barney, their vocals, like their energy is a lot more energetic. So like it'll have the theme song, but then it goes straight into, so he's like, it's like dun, 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 dun. He's like, well, hi everybody. Boy, it's great to be here with, and he's like, they're giggling so much. Like I call the holiday show the giggle fest, because they are living their best life in that vocal booth. I don't know what happened. They were like, oh, so we get a second chance. We're gonna go off. And they did, because Holiday in the Park with Barney was harder than the main show.
Mm.
nice.
It was longer too, right?
Um, yes, it is technically longer. Apparently, they had the holidays around the world. I remember people opening the show telling me how
Freaking
before I had seen the
love
video, they did the holidays
that.
around the world, and people were complaining. Well, people were saying, "Hey, we're tired," especially Barney, because just main show alone. Like I said, I'm ready to X out after like Imagine a Place for Mr. Knickerbocker, and so then we have to go on Grandpa's farm, and we're skipping and all that other stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so I have to like learn how to pace myself and breathe. And so then A Holiday in the Park with Barney, you have Jingle Bells, and then you have Frosty the Snowman. And then instead of like, then we go into the main show for a little bit with Mr. Knickerbocker, which I love a Mr. Knickerbocker. I don't have a problem. But the problem, I'm like, we're going back on Grandpa's farm again during the holidays. I'm like, can we? Why are we going down on Grandpa's farm?
Yeah, it
And I'm
doesn't
like, can
make
we just do
sense.
Mr. Knickerbocker until let it snow? And then I love you until we wish you a Merry Christmas? like, but like, so by the end, I think I did A Holiday in the Park with Barney like twice, because I was busy working at Disney during their Christmas parties. But I found myself after going backstage, the other dinos would go back into the trailer, but I just needed a couple of seconds and I was just hunched over because my body is like beating. And I'm like, I need a moment.
I'm so
Yeah.
mad that they didn't give us like a version of Holidays Around the World. That song is so good. It's such
The
a
song is so beautiful and literally
it's
encompasses
such a
what Barney's
pretty
all
song.
about.
Literally, it's such a pretty song. I like if I want to listen to it, I gotta hear it bad audio. Like I gotta go to one of the shows to
Mhm.
Yeah,
like listen to
kids,
it. It's so
kids
trash.
screaming stuff like that.
Yeah,
I always
I'm
wanted to
surprised
listen
that the
to.
TV show didn't put that song anywhere. That's
literally.
actually
They
wow, that's a
barely
beautiful song.
incorporated. They barely incorporated songs from that attraction. Like
Especially
Imagine a Place.
Imagine a
That was like
Place.
a
I can
home video.
literally count the
Yeah,
amount of times.
We
And
only
that's
like
got
3.
Imagine a Place like twice in this twice 2 or 3 times in the show. But again, like you said, I think that's what made that show so beautiful and so original. Because if you
yes.
look, they rewrote that music Joe Phillips came in '95 and rewrote all that. They didn't use tracks from the show. He wrote all the music for or like
Yeah.
recomposed it for those songs, and it was nice. And while they still had like even I Love You, it had that season 1 through 3 flair with
Yes.
starting here and going and modulating the second verse going up how they did in the show, but it was like its own universal like flair. It was perfect, like you said.
Like it's literally unlike any other Barney live show that you would ever experience, like from the opening. Because one thing I love about Barney, Barney knows how to make an entrance. That is one queen who knows how to make an entrance is Barney the dinosaur. And we always have like you have the smoke and stuff like that, and then you have like the then he comes out of the smoke. But in this one, it's dark, and you just hear chimes, and then you hear like a and it's like you're entering the realm of imagination, and the stars, it's like a slow build up until we get to Barney, and it's like all the audience coming together and bringing Barney, like even like whether you're young or young at heart, you're the ones that feel like they don't have imagination left within them, like you're still using all the imagination that you have to muster up this purple dinosaur. That's why that's one of my favorite Barney openings, because it takes its time and we really get a chance to enter that world of imagination. And also, if you look up, you'll see the stars. Oh, my AirPod. Anyway, you'll see. Sorry, you'll see the stars swirl around. But if you look up, because it goes, dun, 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 and on the, you'll see a purple swirl happen, and that's Barney basically. So that's what I've said, because it's like all multicolored stars swirling around you in this dark theater. But on that part, on the there's like a purple like comet or swirl in the center, and then that's when Barney comes up. So when I've done my openings, I would note like when I do my openings, I spin to basically complement that swirl to be me instead, because we're supposed to pop up, but I decided to do like a spin, like that purple swirl was Barney. So
It's
So
funny
I
to
can
me
talk about
because
opening all day.
you go ahead, Caitlin.
no, it's funny to me because like later on they started incorporating more Barney elements. So like the Peekaboo character, he or she would be holding the
Yes.
Barney doll, and then like sit it down.
Yes,
It's like, okay,
I
finally.
loved it that they included the doll, because, like, even though it was very mystical to see him come out of thin air, there's something so integral, like, to the integrity of the Barney show to have a Barney doll, and it also amps up that excitement when like when he
Absolutely.
or she are holding it. I wish it was a more studio accurate doll and not one from the gift shop, but
Yeah.
I wish we could have gotten that, but it's still it fits so much to like what the TV, we just get more and more like the TV show with the incorporation of the doll. So
Yeah. That's always been
yeah.
like a staple. Mattel. But yeah, go ahead, Malachi. What were you saying?
Oh dear.
I was gonna ask Ronnie, if you don't mind me asking, like your first like thinking back. So I remember watching a YouTube video where I think somebody kind of like exposed it, like they had a night vision camera. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking
Oh
about.
my god.
And they showed they they showed the costume coming up the
Yes.
thing real slow. Yeah, Hedge. So basically it's dark, so you don't know what happened. So Peekaboo put the doll down and it's dark,
Yes.
and then the lights pop on, he get big. But some freaking idiot went on YouTube with a night vision camera and they filmed it in the dark, and you could see the costume coming up real slow from the ground, and then
The
the
So it's
light
like a
pop
magic.
on.
toaster. It's like a toaster thing.
It's a very
Yeah,
slow
yeah.
toaster. You feel like
So
Beyonce a little bit.
How did
I'm
how
not
did
gonna
Like
lie.
Michael Jackson
how
Dangerous
did
Tour.
how did you
Period.
I was about to ask, like, how was that for you? And like,
yeah, how did you get in
your
there?
first
Oh,
time?
the trap door. I
Yeah.
love the trap door. Elevator. First of all, yes,
Oh,
there
the
will be
elevator.
people that use, I've seen that video. There's also people that use flash during the part while you're rising, which then ruins the surprise, because then you see the flash and then you hear, ooh, and I'm like, oh, it ruins everything.
Yes, that bronze it.
Um,
Yeah.
it literally ruins the whole entire build up, and I would get so irritated. But so basically, Barney has to get ready during the beginning of the Peekaboo pre-show. So I'll have my feet on and ready, just twiddling and just getting some last minute water. Then the pre-show happens and you hear Bartholomew Bird. He's like, hello, and I'm like, oh, here we go, it's time to go to war, let's go. And so we go, put on the costume, get everything good, everything's great. So then I leave the trailer, I go inside the theater backstage, and I go down these staircase, and I go down this like hallway that's very dark, and so somebody kind of has to hold my hand because there's like black lights around, it's dimly lit. And so I'm like, okay. So I'm like, you make your way over there, and then you come face to face with the elevator. And so you can see a monitor that shows the whole entire stage. So you can see Peekaboo in the round, like getting people excited to see the show. And is everybody ready to see Barney? And so then they have a stool for us just in case if we're there early, and you're able to sit on there and just like, wait a little while. And then they'll say rules. And rules is basically when Peekaboo is telling people the rules about no flash photography or bright video lights. And then when they say rules, they open the door. You get inside the trap door, and if I remember looking towards my right, you could see some of the fiber optics from the trees. They are also underground. So every time I would see them start to sparkle, I'm like, okay, it's about to happen. So then, but you can still hear everybody go, "Yeah, we're ready to see Barney!" And so then they're like, "Have a good show." They close the door. You just breathe, and then you'll start seeing the fiber optics start to twinkle, which is the chimes, and people are chanting. So then, oh, look at video reference. And so then during this part, yeah, the fiber optics are going right now. And then the stage door will open and goes, and then you hear, and then you rise up very slowly, and then you can feel the air, you can hear people, and then I spring up and the lights come on. Did I not time that right? There it is. And so
who took away the doll? Was it Peekaboo?
Peekaboo. Mm-hmm.
Okay, kind of figured.
Oh, based on that animation, I think I know who that is. I missed them. But let's see. But yeah, the trapdoor was my favorite because it was, and that's the reason why. And I always wondered, I'm like, why are we chanting Barney? And it's because they have everybody chanting Barney because the trapdoor opening is so loud. It is very loud, and it would, everybody's like Barney, because there's been some shows where I think people are just embarrassed or people just don't want to scream. And so, you'll be able to hear
WD-40.
like literally. And there has been time, there was a show I was doing where the trap door did not go up. So it was a crazy time. They didn't use their imaginations hard enough, apparently. So,
Maybe you're not trying hard enough.
You're not trying, and it was wild. So, I'm down there getting ready, and so I see the fiber optics going, but I don't hear no, and I'm like, I look at the tech, and I'm like, what's happening? And the tech's like on a call with somebody, like the assistant tech is in communication with like the head tech up in the control booth, and they're like, oh, something's wrong with the elevator. And so then I hear, and then I hear like the air cannons go, and then the theme song's going, and I'm like,
You're just in the
and so then they
stage, like,
stop. I'm still like, and so then
Looking at the
I hear
kids like,
Mrs.
look what you
Peekaboo
guys
being
did.
Mrs. Peekaboo's like, we're gonna need a little more imagination. Okay. They improvise their life away. They're like, okay, everybody grab your imaginations. You all have your thinking caps on. They're trying to stall so that the techs can see, they have to rerun the show again. And so she's like, okay, hold on to your imaginations. Go and rub them really tight. Let's see if it works. And then the lights go again. I see the fiber optics. There's no, and I'm like, and then it happens again, and Barney does not appear. And then she's like, I think we're gonna have to try one more time. And so then the third time they figured it out, and then it worked.
Family is gone.
And I'm like, do I just take the suit off? Like, do I get a break? Like, what's happening? So they're like, no, we're gonna try and make this work. And so yeah, the third time was the charm, and that was the biggest applause because I think people thought it was a part of the show of like, it was basically like a Barney live in New York City moment. Where's Barney? Oh, it's like, no, you're gonna work today. Like y'all just thought you were gonna enter the realm of imagination without trying. Mm-mm. Y'all gotta actually try.
It's
So
crazy.
That's
mishaps like
awesome,
that were
man.
fun, but the elevator was one of my favorites, and like getting to rehearse with that and doing it out of costume was so much fun. And it's not really fast at all. It literally just goes, and that's about it. But
Mhm.
it's really
So,
cool.
I gotta ask,
Yeah.
because I've never witnessed like in full the reaction from families when "I Love You" starts to play, and it
Mhm.
always gets me because the hearts come from the ceiling, and just
Mhm.
the instrumental itself, and the whole choreography with all three dinos is kind of. I'm like, oh my god, what was that like?
They
Just performing
choreographed
that.
that so well, and even though, like, throughout the show, you're just trying to catch our breath, when you get to I Love You, something comes over you and you forget about the 15-minute show that you did, because I Love You
Yeah.
is basically what Barney is all about. And to see people, families of kids who probably, some probably don't know who Barney is or didn't know who Barney was at that time, are the parents are introducing them to an old friend. There are teenagers that came with their friends because they remember Barney, and it's like, let's go see Barney and
Mm,
relive our childhood. And everybody's like singing. And then there's the air does in the theater, we have these fans, and basically in the music, Joe Phillips just did such a good job when it does "Won't you say you love me too." There's like wind, soft wind that swirls throughout the theater as the hearts come down, and then you hear
Wow.
these violins like like throughout, like there's violins playing. Like if you are seated throughout the theater, there's times you can just hear straight, like crisp, like clear audio, and like the music is so crispy. And you hear the violins, like these people took such care to still put such emotion into a song that is just about love. And parents are they're all swaying, and they're hugging, kids are giving their parents kisses. Mrs. Peekaboo, or like especially Mrs. Peekaboo, she would go into the audience and find a child, and it was normally mostly a Make-A-Wish child,
Wow.
and would sing "I Love You" to them. And oh, my favorite piece of the choreo is when we're like, "I love you, you love me, we're best friends." And like all the dinos are on separate parts of the stage, but we all spin and come together, and we join hands as friends should be, and we do like a hop. I loved that part. And because we spun on best friends, and you could hear it in the vocals. They're like, "We're best friends." Like it was so good. When I was working with Lauren is wild. She wanted to do like a ring around the rosy on Friends Should Be. And I'm like, let's go. And so it was in like just the ring around the rosy part with that extra amount of energy just gives it that much feeling. And you see the hearts, and everything's red, and you feel warm and fuzzy. And
mm,
it's just I Love You is just such, you don't it's not about you, it's not about how much you were sweating, it's not about how tired you are, it's about speaking that message of love that Barney had worked so hard
Mhm.
to teach us
absolutely.
all, like, to love one another. And it's multi-generational because everybody knows that song. And yeah,
And
Yeah.
it's
it's a
yeah,
treat.
because I used to watch like people like Snapchat stories from people who go to Orlando. They go to that show
Yeah.
specifically. There was one girl, she took home a leaf that had, the title and the font there. There was a
Yeah.
hilarious video during the "I Love You" song, Barney did the Nene.
Oh my gosh, I know who you're talking about.
Oh really?
Yes, I loved him. That
People
was
were
actually
like,
my trainer. He was wonderful. He had so the way he was also able to move the costume and like do like these different like hip moves, like Grandpa's Farm. He ate down some Grandpa's Farm. Like he was doing all this. I'm like, how are you making Barney do all of this? Like, it is wild. And yeah, like definitely, like that's how I also got to know a lot of the cast, because I would go and see them, and so they would see me. They'd go like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hey!" And so so they knew who. They're like, "You look familiar." When I finally got the job, and so they always will be my family, even though I might not speak to some of them anymore, because as time goes on, it's like we still keep in contact with Facebook and whatnot. But they really brought me in as a family, because it's wild. Out of working from Disney and in parades and working at Universal, because I also did their Superstar parade, there was no break room like the Barney break room. Like that was a family. There was people that opened that, like I said, from the very beginning. They had this tradition. We would all celebrate somebody's birthday, either by going out or having a birthday party in the trailer. We had cake. Um, Everybody just looked out for one another, and they really did such a fabulous job of like scooping me up and making me feel as one and part of the family. I thought I opened the attraction by the way they were spreading their love, you know. And it's like that Barney magic, because we would also have make-a-wishes that would come. We had this one family from England, like they traveled all the way from England to come and see A Day in the Park with Barney, because it was the only place you could meet Barney, BJ, and Baby Bop. And we would have reoccurring guests. Yeah, and Make a Wishes. Barney would sometimes go to the Make a Wish, the Give Kids the World area. And those were always my favorites, because you could see the mothers and the dads, they were crying, and you know, because you could tell these people, like the Make a Wish kids, like their whole dream was to see Barney live. Like it was, Make a Wish kids were one of my favorites to me, because they were just so appreciative, and the parents were so appreciative. Everybody's crying. Um, and everybody, and like when they gave us gifts, like when Make a Wishes would give us gifts, we would always post it up in the trailer. It was a tight knit family, y'all. It was wild. Like Barney Magic is real and it's thriving. So
But you know what?
I
That
miss
goes
them.
back to show to the big question that a lot of us have. How could anybody hate something so beautiful, bruh? It's
I hate something that loves.
it's
That
insane.
loves.
Like we know he's not real, but let's be real. Like that spirit of Barney is real. Like that's a real
Yes.
thing.
We know he's not
We
real,
got the old.
Like
but
you,
let's be
you
real
get
for
what
a
I'm trying to
minute.
I
say.
know what
Like
you're talking about.
you
We
get
live
what
in a
you get what I'm trying to
wild
say. Like
world right now.
for sure,
Yeah.
and it's like legit. Like even like I don't do costume work for real, but like even like Karan knows, like I was trying to get into it. I got my own Barney suit, and I did a party back.
Period.
I did a party back in April, and
Oh, so
it
cool.
was cool. It was dope. And I'm leaving the house. You know, Barney's leaving out the house. It was at somebody's house, and there's this kid across the street in the house. Like they're at the door, and they're like screaming like to the top of the lungs. And the mom's like, "No, like Barney gotta go." And the people who I'm with, they're like, "Oh no, like we're sorry, Barney gotta go." But I'm like, nah, I got this. So like I start skipping. I'm doing spins, and
Oh,
I'm like running to the house, and I'm up the little girl's house, and I'm hugging her at the front door, and the mom is like so grateful. She's like, "Oh my god, like thank you so much." Like she's getting emotional. I'm just like, bro, like it's just stuff like that. And like you said, you could be dog tired, because I was
yeah.
dog tired in that thing. That was my first party I've ever done with that
Yeah.
suit on. This was just in April, and I haven't even picked up the suit since then. But legit, I was
Oh,
I was
me
in it
too.
for like 45 minutes straight. So I was tired, but again, it's like
Yeah.
stuff like that that'll push you to
Yeah,
just
that's what I was,
But
and
that,
that's what I was telling you. Like, when you're in those suits, it's like, yeah,
yeah.
you get hot and you get tired, but there's a certain level you get to after a while, where like you get a new burst of energy, and like especially when you're in a Barney suit and you have all these people, like kids especially, like they're seeing the character that they believe in, like right in front of them.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
you could be dead tired and ready to just quit, but then that next person gives you that extra energy, and it's like a whole new burst of energy. You
It's a
can go
gift,
for 30
honestly.
minutes. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
I
It is
I
a
do
gift.
suit performance as a Power Ranger from time to, a lot actually. And so I'll go
Love
to
Power
conventions.
Ranger. Yes.
Yeah. And I feel like you were saying, Malachi, like I feel like adults probably assume that other adults in a costume don't want to be around kid. They want to get out of there as soon as possible. But like
yeah.
as a ranger, when I go to conventions and stuff, my partner's like my wrangler,
Yes.
she kind of keeps me on track. When you see a child and they're looking at you, there's no
Mhm.
guarantee they'll ever see you again. This is
Exactly.
like your
Mhm.
one time to make an impression. And speaking for myself, when I'm suited up as a ranger, they'll look at me and they're like, you can see in their eyes, they're like, you are the real thing. It doesn't matter. They don't know
Yeah,
who you
it's that
are underneath.
twinkle that they have in their
Absolutely.
eyes that
Right.
you don't get it anywhere else.
Right. You are the real thing. So you have to match their energy. I
Yeah.
was
You know,
doing like a Halloween thing, and some little girl downtown was wearing like a Walmart Pink Ranger costume thing, and she saw me across the way, and she
oh my
like
God.
pointed and started running, and like that magic that you feel when you've just made a child's day, it never.
Oh my
leaves.
gosh.
And
Ever,
it's
ever.
You could
crazy
do it.
because, like, it's hard to explain it. Like,
Yeah.
we understand it because we've been in a suit with portraying these characters and like having those interactions with kids. But
Yeah.
it's hard to truly explain it and get people who haven't had that experience to really understand like how magical and meaningful that is. Like for you, but like obviously it's special for the kids, but it also provides you with like it gives you something special at the same time. That is just super rewarding. Like it's like you have to experience that. Yeah.
But and then
I know
it's like
with me.
Oh, go ahead. You go.
Well, I was gonna say like with me, I've never done costume work. Like that's just not a vein I'm in.
Get into
but I was in a
it.
band. but I was in the band for 10 years, high school and college, and when you said like the whole shoulder thing and how it weighs like 70 to 80 pounds, I'm like, oh my god,
too, bro?
Memories of. No, I played snare. And surprisingly,
oh my gosh, with that marching band?
Yep.
Hey, come on, let's go. I was in there too. I was
like,
yeah.
Where I went to college, where I live now, the band is one of the like attractions to the college because let's be honest, the athletic they kind of suck, but it just seemed like that magic when you put on that uniform or something like that. Yeah. Like when we're doing events or you're doing like a morning Saturday game and you get there a little too early, but there's still like fans and alumni who are like, hey man, can we get a picture with you? Like we don't know you, but we just love the band. And it's kind of like, sure. And it's like, I'm just an average everyday Joe like everybody else, but they see me as something that rings true to their heart because they love that product. And that kind of equates here with any character. It could be Barney, it could be Big Bird, it could be Sonic, it could be anything. As long as that person or that image reigns true within your mind and your imagination, you're always going to feel like a kid again.
It's such a selfless act of what we do. It's such an act of love. You're pushing your body to the limit. And I remember my vocal teacher, because I went to school for musical theater, and she pulled me to the side one time and she was like, this is before I did my second college program in entertainment. She was like, Ronnie, I just need to talk to you before the year ends and you go off and you graduate. And I'm like, okay, what's up? She's like, I don't understand. You're very talented. I just don't want to see you waste your talents on going into a hot state like Florida and putting a bucket over your head and performing that way. And I'm like, with all due respect, it's much more than wearing a bucket over your head. It's bringing characters that people care about to life. And it's like, healing somebody's like, somebody might be having a bad day. Like the magical moment you have with somebody in those parks or whatever character you're hanging out with, and that magic and that interaction you have with them, you are meant to be there for them. That is a calling, that is a gift.
Or you simply could be healing your inner child. Because speaking for me, and I know Karan and like Hedge just said, because like Hedge, I'm a Power Rangers fan too. And I know for one thing, watching Power Rangers, I was picking up the nearest TV remote phone. That was my morpher that whole time. That's what I was using to change it to. And the same with Barney, like Karan and like you, Ronnie, you said you would stand in front of the TV and you would perform these things. And it's like, as you're doing it, it's kind of like you would be like, dang, I wonder what it would be like to put a suit on. You put the suit on and it's like, I'm gonna break my neck to make this thing like happen. Like I'm gonna perform this thing up here. So legit, it doesn't even, and it's not to say it's not just about other people, but it really could be like you like really like bringing that childhood thing like to life. Like I remember performing NYC in my living room, and now I'm freaking.
I literally took a brown crayon and drew all over my Little Tykes tricycle.
Oh my gosh.
Flipped it to the side so it looked like the playset. And then I took a little like a hand basket, flipped that over, and I wouldn't now because I would destroy it. But like when I was little, I would like stand on it so it looked like the tree stump. And that's how I like bring
Stop
those,
it.
like,
are you serious?
Stuff in life. Yeah.
But it's stuff like that, and you make it
Yeah.
happen. Like, I could only
Well,
imagine how you felt in that bathroom, getting that email saying you did it, going in that trailer, going for training and rehearsals, and then your first show ever, you're rising up on this elevator thing, and you hear these screams for your first time. Like, I could only imagine what that
You
was.
I
know, you know what's
was.
crazy? I don't mean to cut you off. My bad, Ronnie.
No, you good. I was
No, you're
done.
fine.
Remember I told you guys that like I had a chance to audition for that too.
Mm-hmm.
It was the same
You
year.
did.
So right, yeah, I just
Wow.
couldn't. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, so I couldn't make it to Florida.
Okay.
But had I did, we would have been at the same audition. Like it was that same year.
Wow.
Yeah, I just didn't
Stop
get
it.
a
Are
chance
you
to
kidding
found it.
me?
Yeah, like my parents, my younger sisters and my parents came to Florida to go to Universal Studios, and I think I had to work or something, so I couldn't make it. Like I couldn't go on the trip with them, but it coincided with the audition, and
Bro, I would've
that
quit.
and birthday bash. I had to pass both auditions up because I couldn't get to them.
I would have quit.
We could have literally been doing the show together.
Yeah, dude, I know.
We could have literally done the show together because you would have moved down here, period, just to do this show. I already know.
Right? Yeah, man, dude. It
That's
sucks.
one regret.
Back
Oh, no,
then,
go
like
ahead. Sorry.
no, I was just saying, like back then, you didn't you didn't think the show was gonna. It's like in my head, it's like, oh, I'll just do it the next time auditions come around. You didn't think that eventually, there'll be a pandemic and then the show's just gone and it doesn't exist anymore. So
It was
or
just
else
so
I
rude.
probably would've tried
Also,
harder. Yeah.
no, it's just also very rude how they announced how it was
Oh
closing.
yeah.
I just don't think like Barney had a send off that he deserved. It was very petty.
Absolutely. Hell no.
To
Absolutely.
find out through social media. And that's how most of us in theme parks, I don't know if we're numb to it now, but like working in the theme park industry, there are people who are regular guests that find out that your show or thing is closing before you because they go on social media and say it before we have a group meeting
Yeah.
to be like, hey, you know? So we found out
Gotcha.
really kind of through, I think there was some like, hey, be careful, like, keep an eye out, things might be happening. But they've been doing that for ever since I was working. There was always like, oh, we shouldn't stock up on leaves. Don't know how much longer we'll be here because we heard that, they were going to do something with DreamWorks or something like that, but we didn't know when it was coming. And so, yeah. And then we found out through social media, and I'm like, wow, what a way to find out. And there was like no official date. I mean, there wasn't it was official date, but it was coming up. Like it was very, very soon. And like, I feel like not a lot of time was given for those people to travel overseas to say their goodbyes, or maybe those fans that had never gotten to see it to come over and have like a hurrah where there's like kind of similar to like how Muppet Vision ended, how a bunch of fans came together and was able to send off this attraction. So it's, that's a little part that I'm salty about because that was one of the longest running Universal attractions at its time next to the Monster
So,
Horror Makeup Show.
so there is a video here on YouTube of what somebody did, like titled "The Final Performance." Is that true?
The final
Because there
performance,
was
I was trying to remember if they did one for team members as the final performance because I know we normally
okay,
do that, but I really do think that was the final show.
okay, because that whole theater was packed,
It was
and it
packed.
was a
It
good
felt like
like 5
1995
minute
again.
5 minute applause.
And
And Mrs.
it's
Peekaboo was like, "Oh
really
my god, thank you."
it's it's like we stepped into a time machine because back in the day, again, it was 10 showings a day, and then we were reduced to like 4 shows a day. And there'd be sometimes I'd be performing and there was a whole section of the theater that wasn't filled, but we still gave the same show as we always did, but and it fluctuated, but like you could tell, like the theater just wasn't getting full, and so it was just very heartwarming to see that final performance and see the see what it was like back then when Barney was at his prime, and yeah, it's really
Gotcha.
nice.
Yeah. So I'm as you know, we're in this new era. We have this new series. We have this relaunch. In
Yeah.
quotation marks. Um, I don't know if you're aware. Mattel is building their own theme park attraction. One is in Arizona, and I think they're about to open it. And
Really?
another is currently, yeah, and another is currently under construction in Kansas. Um, I believe either a CFO or an executive basically flat out confirmed that Barney would have his own space, whether that's a meet and greet or an attraction and whatnot. Who knows?
Okay.
Obviously we know what version of Barney it is going to be. It's going to be their
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
If that ever came across your email, would you consider it? Would you be like, hey,
Oh,
here's
God.
somebody who I think would be perfect for it? Or would you just like,
The thing is that I'm in this era of my life right now where, I've been working in theme parks for a very, very, very long time. And I'm getting to that point where I want to create something that's authentically mine. Um, if they ever wanted me to do anything, for their socials or anything like, for an event, I would love to do that. But I'm really just trying to like with Karan, what he's doing with Mr. K's, what you're doing is just amazing. And I really want to do something like that too. I too want to like do a children's show and like, that's why I moved out here to California to live with my brother, to start this new chapter of my life. And so right now I'm freelancing for Chuck E. Cheese. I'm creating some of the music videos that's seen in their stores. And so I'll storyboard, I'll script, and I'll do an animatic and I'll send it to them. They're like, okay. So they send me the stuff, the characters, and I have a blue and green screen in my garage, and I am my own producer, I am my own cameraman, I'm my own performer, I'm my own post-production. I do everything myself in this little garage. And yeah, I make music videos and content for them freelancing. So, and the skills that I'm learning from that, I'm hoping to use for my own show one day. So I'm getting better at Adobe After Effects and getting great at all the other stuff. So it's, but if in terms of your question, I just went all the way off the rails, but it would, I feel like it's time for me, because a lot of people ask me, are you going back to Disney? Are you going back to, so I'm like, I think if it was something for an event, or what Mattel has been doing so far, because I think they're located in LA. I would love to come back
They're
for that. But
I know they're
where are
like
they located?
directly next to LAX, if I'm not mistaken.
Are you kidding me?
So they're like right next to the airport. Is
That's good news.
Out the window.
Like right
That's
next
good
door.
news. I'll be right back.
that Barney?
That's good, dude.
Is that Barney going inside?
Wait, what'd you say?
He's like walking in the building.
Yeah. But I think with theme parks, I think I might be done, because I've been doing those for like about 10 years. So and I've been, Disney World, Universal, Sesame Place, doing Sesame on tour. So I'm ready to create, I've been so busy bringing other characters to life that, selfishly, I'm in my selfish era, and I want to like, get the money that I'm, gaining with Chucky and, funding my own stuff. And I'm really excited. It's scary, but
I was just going to say that, like, it's like, first of all, like costume performing is super taxing, like on your body and stuff.
oh
And
my
there
gosh.
are people who like, that's their thing. Right. I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Joyner and those guys, they stayed with it until they wanted to like venture off, but
Yeah.
they would always like Joyner still puts on Hip Hop Harry at times. You know what I mean? Like
And
Wild.
the Snoop Dogg stuff.
that's the Snoop Dogg stuff. Like that's their thing. But there's
Mhm.
also something like I used to want to be a costume character, costume performer because of Barney and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's also something rewarding about like having your own thing and seeing that like same response. Like I used to do birthday parties as Barney since I was 15 till I was like 25 or something like that.
Yes.
And
Yes,
now-
yes.
And that was great. But now I go out and I have those same experiences I used to have playing Barney
As
with
Mr.
kids
K.
as Mr. K.
And
like,
like, oh,
And it's
That's
just
a flex. That is
Yeah.
such a flex.
and so
it
like
is,
That's true.
honestly.
the biggest thing that you can do, which is what you're already doing, even though you're freelancing with Chuck E. Cheese right now, is you're gaining new skills, and then
Yeah.
you just have to take a step. Like that's what I've told everyone who wants to do something is just do something. It doesn't matter if it's big or small, because it's going to continue to grow from there. You learn, you fix
Yeah.
what you weren't good at, you get better, and then you're consistently building something. So and you have a great energy. So whatever you do,
Oh, thank you.
and only I think a lot of people would just
appreciate it.
naturally gravitate to it for sure.
Oh, for
Thank
sure.
you.
You're like being here has been like watching a movie. I felt like I was
Are
like
you serious?
watching something.
Yeah, I
the
keep
whole
like
time,
visualizing your whole
yeah,
story.
real talk. And he was
That's
like,
the only way I
Please
can.
stay tuned following this presentation for previews of other Ronnie home videos.
Wait,
Right,
did you
no.
say
Little
Ronnie home
thing.
video? I'm so honored. Thank you so much. That's gonna be my ringtone.
No, bro, I'm sick. And you kept apologizing. You kept saying, "Oh my God, sorry, I like the marble," and all of us were just like,
I talked
We're
to
just
them.
enthralled. We're just invested.
literally, this is about you. Go ahead and
You're
like
so
talk,
sweet.
like, bruh, I was eating it up. Like
Thank you.
Jalen said, it was like I could picture everything.
Y'all are so in sync. It's wild.
No,
Y'all are so
but bro,
insane.
I love it. I like having you here.
Thank
Like
you.
legit, like he said, keep being. Please don't change who you are. Like this energy is so infectious, and I love. Like I could feel it through the screen.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Yeah.
Like
Thank you. And it just comes from doing
Um,
what you love and surrounding yourself with stuff that you love.
that part.
Because growing up,
Yeah.
I was, of course, I'm pretty sure as we all were, I was still into Barney going into elementary school, to high school, and of course college. And especially elementary school, people could be so kids can be very mean, and they can say the wildest things that make you go home and just like you look at your Barney stuff and you're like you want to throw it to the wall because you're hurting. They're bullying you. Like there was a time in music class where this teacher, she was like, I have brought this drum from Africa, let's all bang on this drum and make music. So every student had a chance to like bang on this drum, and people would applaud. And when it got to me, I banged on the drum, and then somebody in my class was like, ew, that sounds like Barney. And then everybody erupted in laughter, and I started tearing up.
bruh,
And
I would turn into the villain from The Incredibles.
Oh, they be
you
mad.
like
They be
Start
mad with
phantom.
me. They be so mad with me because I
Your
would
villain
be
origin story.
I would be
I
defending
was
them.
I was so like, and like the teacher made them do the whole cringe thing and apologize. And I'm like, it's okay. It wasn't okay, by the way, if you're watching this podcast. It was not okay. And then I can easily go home and just like throw my Barney stuff away and just end the hurt. But that was my best friend, and you don't do that to a bestie. You don't do that. Like I could always go and watch Barney. I could watch Mickey Mouse, Chuck E. Cheese, because I was a longtime fan of Chuck E. Cheese growing up, and I was never quick to lose my childhood or like just like leave anything
As
that
you
was
shouldn't.
significant in my childhood. I feel like a lot of kids want to grow up too quick, and they're finding out that time is moving, and the
It
stuff
is.
that you were used to seeing is now in the past. And so people are trying to, now when you wear a Barney shirt, people are like, oh my God, Barney the dinosaur. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm like, this is wild. Like the tables have turned. And now
Yeah.
what we got made fun of like for loving, that again was a symbol of love and compassion and just like, um, now he's adored by everyone now. Everybody wants to see Barney now.
Well,
Everyone.
And
mostly.
it's hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
mostly. Yeah.
They
Um,
want to see old Barney. They don't want to see the new
Well,
one.
yeah, now,
So
'cause now it is different. Now it's like the people who don't want to see Barney, they don't want to see Barney's World Barney, but they want to see the regular one. Back in the day, it didn't matter who Barney.
Who Barney?
There was just a group
Yes.
that didn't care. Now he's loved as long as he looks like
So-
what he used to.
And listen,
so I was
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you're fine, dude. So but go ahead, finish your point. Finish your point.
Oh no, I was gonna say like it does my heart good. Like when I would like go to the stores and see Barney in the stores again, like I just feel like you didn't really see any merchandise. So I'm like, even though I'm definitely a classic Barney fan, duh, but I'm just like, it's just to see the green and the purple back again. And
Yes.
I've seen, of course I've seen a couple of episodes of Barney's World, and even though I have not caught up with it in a while after that special, the Find My Glow situation. But I love the heart for me of what Barney is about is still like nestled deep, 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 deep within it. And I love it, especially when he like pulls them to the side and he's like, hey, I'm here to talk, even if you don't want to talk. If you just don't want to talk, it's fine. And I feel like, that's an important message. And even though I'm in a regular I love you stan, I love you. You love me too. I've bopped to it a couple of times, but that's about it.
It is.
And
a
that's
bop.
kind of my
It's about.
yeah. That's kind of my opinion too. Like I don't want to say they get it, but they
Yes.
kind of get the gist of what the character is, but not what the show was.
Yeah.
That part. He still has his energy. He's able to do 10 times as much because he's an animated character now and not in a, a suit. But there was just something, I don't know, realistic about this live suit. I felt like, especially, I don't know if, I'm pretty sure we all did it. We all had our Barney dolls and would like wish really hard and that they would come to life and he
Put
would
'em
be
in the
before
shower.
our eyes. I had so many wet Barney dolls. My mom's like, stop putting your toys in the shower. And I'm like, I just want to. Yo, I got so desperate. I even brought out the Shimmery Shimhara. I got desperate. I was like, I need him.
Bruh,
to
that's
come out.
real. Like legit, I remember I had a camera and I put it up in my room and I set my bacon like up on a bed lid or something like
Yes.
that. And I'm like, I used to talk to myself and I would have like another stuff and I'd be like, come on, Jake, come on, Billy. And we'd be like, bye, Barney, bye. Like, how the kids would say bye.
In
And
the
they would
shower,
walk
I
up
did
the
the same thing.
classroom and you had the one kid in season 3 that would cut the light out and look back and smile.
Yes.
Yeah, that was me. And
You're following the
Well,
blueprint
it's
of the show. Like,
getting in
so
trouble
I don't know
because
what's happening.
getting
I'm
yelled at
following the
because he was
blueprint.
You don't like
Listen,
it.
said
You don't
goodbye
pay
to
no bills?
Barney. Turned off the light.
bruh. And I would really sit there looking back like this is me, like literally like cut the light out and then
Yeah,
Why
like the one
do
twinkle.
and then would peek back in to be like, is he big? Like I was like,
Like, is he big yet? Or am I going to see a
Right.
twinkle? Like, how he winks at the end? I'm like, God.
No,
Or is he going to
that's
wink at me?
real.
Like,
That's
Maybe
oh,
you're like, maybe I gotta look out the corner of my eye so he don't see that I'm looking at
yes.
him. So
You all are my people. I swear to gosh. Like, we literally have the same lives and it's the same.
No.
Funny.
thing.
or I would take
It's funny now.
Dude, man, you know what's so, oh my bad. Go ahead, Kaylin.
No, it's funny now, and this is gonna be a sad way to correlate things now. In my college, there's a giant like ancient Japanese purple tree. So one day I should just go there and embarrassingly just be like,
Hey, Barney.
Are you
"Hey,
serious?
Barney!"
Hey, Barney!
And the Lord, I was like,
Hey,
what is wrong with you?"
friend!
Someone's gonna be like, yeah, he's out here at the tree again. There's kids 5 feet
Isn't
away.
it wild how it's a tree? I'm like, where's the toy? So we're gathering in front of a tree. Okay, I think if you think about if they're doing Barney's World in a theme park, that would look really cute in an area to see like the purple tree and
the
whatnot. If they
big old tree
recreate the
and
park,
if it,
that'd be
like,
really
lit
cute.
up and stuff. Yeah, that would be
From like,
cool.
But it'll be like
like
a microfiber, so like something somebody had to build. Like they're not gonna plant a
Yeah.
tree.
Yeah. Literally
Man,
the trees in the
we were talking
Universal
about
attraction.
we were talking about how what we did, like acting out Barney. Like I tell people all the time, I acted out Barney since I could walk and talk. Like that's where my
Yeah.
love for music, dancing, and
Same.
acting came
Yes.
from. But literally imitating I watched it, like you said, all the way through high school and everything, imitating
Yeah.
the Carrie movements just as much as I did the Joyner stuff, like the
Yeah.
Tim Miller stuff. But like it's got so stupid. My grandma has I would like crouch down like on the ground or in a chair and then jump up like out of it to
Like
come
the
to life.
doll. Like
Oh
the
my
doll.
gosh, me.
But
I
then
would
also
put the doll. Yes, I would put the doll down, and then I would go.
Yep.
And then I would just like, or
I used
guess
to throw
what?
it.
We
I
upgrade.
used to throw
You
it back
used
in my
to throw
crib,
it.
Yeah,
man.
I'll do
That's
the
wild.
Dude, what's crazy is by the time I got to high school, that's what I did. Like depending on what season I was watching, I would either crouch down and jump up, or I'd have 2 different Barney dolls to symbolize
this
which
for you.
season I was pretending to be, and like throw them out the way to like pop up. It was so
I love
stupid.
this. Okay, listen, I was doing that too, but then one year for my birthday, I had a little glow up. My mother presented me with a smoke machine, and then it was history from that. I would fire up that fogger.
Oh,
I
dude.
would do
The
my
whole
my
big
party show
surprise
got
opening.
wild.
Oh my
Like
gosh!
I would play
know
the
you
big
picked that up.
surprise like CD,
The big surprise.
and so
I
it
knew
was
it.
like,
There it is.
oh, that's my like literally next to a day in the park with Barney. The music and the theme song, because again, the theme song is my favorite. Big
Man.
surprise, Joe Phillips was going off during that theme song. Like it is everything.
And that was
I
his
love the
first.
drums.
Like,
I love a good drum.
Crazy.
that was his first like mainstream Barney thing, wasn't it? Like he had done Universal.
Yeah,
And you can hear
Before
a
was
little bit
the
of
first time we were
essence.
hearing that style of Barney music for the first time.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
get
and you can
the
hear a little bit of a
horn
Day in the
at
Park with
sound.
Barney music
Yup.
throughout the
Mhm.
soundtrack, a little bit of the nuances that he still kept.
Yeah.
It
It's
is
funny, I
like
remember
literally
watching-
that opening. I would, like fire up my fogger, have the Barney doll. I had a Barney costume that was way too big for me. I would still like keep it with me. It was like those Barney Halloween costumes. And then I would like just take the doll in the smoke. I fogged up the whole house. Like, I don't know how, like, because no, it didn't go away. It still lingered.
Protector goes
So,
on.
like, my parents could barely move throughout the house, but they stayed and watched my shows. All the way
I
through.
love. Can we like
Coffee.
give some recognition to your parents? Your parents were amazing because you have not once said. I'm sure we've all like my dad. He would watch it, but he watched it because he had to watch it with me. Like my dad don't
Mhm.
Oh,
like
my
no
dad
Barney.
hated Barney.
My
Your
dad
dad-
hated him. He did not like him. So I give full recognition to your parents. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
You have not said
My
nothing
mom,
negative about them at all.
absolutely not. My dad, he actually, because my mom would watch Barney with me more than my dad would, but he loved it because, again, it made me happy. The only thing that the only Barney song he will ever sing and still sings to this day, especially for the nostalgia factor, he'll just sing it because he remembers when we were little. He will sing Imagine a Place because he loves the lyric.
Mm.
He loves the with your mind, your eyes
I
can
love
see.
that part.
That's like
Love
our
Come on,
favorite
bro.
lyrics from the song.
Man,
That is like that's when I start to you
Love
hear
that
the
part.
kids singing in the audience with him. Dad always sings that song, even if he's making food in the kitchen, he'll hum it. And then for our sister's birthday, she had a Disney princess birthday, and my brother and I, we were in charge of the entertainment. So instead of doing a Disney princess show, what did we do? A day in the park with Barney.
I
And
know that's
like
right, bro.
and our sister was like, okay, because I'm just happy you're doing something for me. And so our dad built a whole theater, a whole Barney theater. And I had that Barney puppet. I had a Barney puppet, the one that Karan had. I had that Barney puppet. We had a little beanie baby Barney that we put up top. We had these Baby Bop and BJ dolls that were not puppets because I didn't have Baby Bop and BJ puppets. But we would run our vacation video of A Day in the Park with Barney. So we got the soundtrack. And you would just hear our mom screaming in the background and interacting with the show. But it's like we did the whole Day in the Park with Barney. And then when he was like, and remember, I love you. Mwah! And then like we had these like confettis in a cup. And so I would go, mwah! Then my brother would go over my shoulder and go,
That's what's up.
Wow.
man,
it
that's
was
See, I-
everything.
I
So-
couldn't watch Barney with my parents because I would also
No.
act out stuff like that too. And they're very supportive. But I would borrow tapes from my daycare sitter. And she had like season 1, season 2, one tape
That's
from
a great
season 2. And
daycare.
every day, every day I would, hey, can I borrow I don't know, Adventure and Make Believe? She'd be like, sure, just bring it back tomorrow. I'm like, okay,
Still
cool.
have that one.
And be in the bedroom. If all the raindrops are lemon. And then the moment the door opens, my mom comes, I'm like,
You hurry up and sit down.
yeah, I would like ketchup on my hot dog, please. And then she closed the door. What a rain that would be.
Yo, no, yo.
First of all, mustard and relish.
Mustard.
mustard.
A little bit of mustard.
I was going to ask you. So, I unfortunately never got the chance to go. But since we're talking about the
Ooh, me
music,
either.
in the gift shop, were there like CDs? Where I know there was a plan at one point to make a home video, but it was the
I know there
show
was
so
a plan
short.
for
It
a
was like there
home
was no point.
video.
Like
No,
a
I
home
remember
video
in the
of
gift
A
shop.
Day in the Park?
Yeah, I think there was like a plan to do I think there was a plan to do a home video, but they just never did it. No, in the gift shop, there was just no that you would think they would have a CD of the show, so or like some but I know back in the day there was Barney's Favorites Volume 1. They had that in the shop. They had I think I remember when I went Imagination Island was playing nonstop because it was, 90 I think I went 97 and that was hot. 90s so like they would play Imagination Island over and over again in that store. And then of course as the years went on it was just the park era stuff. And no,
Did
at
they ever
one
have
point
the
it was
movie?
Barney's Great Adventure. Barney's Great Adventure was playing
Okay.
on repeat. It was like a compilation video where like they would show the songs and then it would be like Imagination Could Take You Anywhere, or, that song, and just compilations from the movie. And then it was just like park era stuff. But yeah, and then just like toys, but no, never.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
How
think
was the? Go ahead, Karan.
Okay, I was just gonna say that video that you might be alluding to, Ronnie. There, I believe I heard from Andrew at one point that there was some style of video for A Day in the Park with Barney that there at least was like a reference for something that they were going to sell there. But
Yeah.
it wasn't the home video. That one wasn't. It was more of like the opening, like the first, like the parade.
I saw that on, I think, their
stuff.
channel on YouTube.
Mhm. That's the only one.
And I'm like,
like,
that's as close as we're getting to like a home video because they're just talking about the opening and the excitement in the air, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's
Um,
awesome.
So there was also like a I don't know what you would call it, a play place where the kids
Barney's
could like
Park,
get around.
McDonald's.
Barney's. Okay.
McDonald's. Okay, also segue. I'm obsessed with McDonald's. I love McDonald's so much. I want to be the ambassador of McDonald's. I have like a lot of points on the app. If anybody who knows me, I could write a novel about McDonald's. Anyway, back to Barney.
So I always thought it was pretty cool. They did like a semi-accurate treehouse and like some other
Yeah,
stuff.
the
Like I
treehouse.
saw there was like a sand area, like a sandcastle area,
Yes.
stuff like that. And I know you guys would like pop in every once in a while, like
Yeah, to do meet and greets by the
play with
railroad.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was
What was
there
that
was
like?
two shifts. There was two shifts. You can either do Barney main show or your other shift is Barney meet and greet because he doesn't do both unless we have a make a wish. Then I'll stay in costume after the show and then wait for the make a wishes, everybody to leave the theater and the make a wish comes in. But like meet and greet Barney was so much freaking fun. I loved it. I loved the show, but meet and greet was amazing because you just, after every show, you go out there for a little bit, play around. But in the beginning, before the park even opens, it's you, Baby Bop, and BJ out in front of the Barney Arch, and you're doing a meet and greet. And for some reason, people didn't know Barney was there, and so you'll have these grown people like just coming and being like, Barney, what are you doing here? I'm like, well, it's just in front of my sign. I've been here. They're like, I didn't know. Like, I remember you so much growing up, and we dance and we play around. So it was a meet and greet in the morning, and then you wait for the first show. Then you do the meet and greet and afterwards, and after all the shows. But my favorite part was going through the park, the play area, and the gift shop because first of all, people thought Barney was just, they would just go to the train station and take photos, and that was it. We don't do that here. We explore. They were like, are you ready to go in? I'm like, no. And so then we explored the play area. And so they actually had, I loved like making the rainbows with the kids because they had these rainbows by pressing a button. It would cause this like rainbow to come across the sky. And every time you would press the button, there'd be these voices that would be associated with every color. So it'd be, for red, for orange, and it would just like voices like this chorus would happen, and then you could just press rainbow and it would be like, and like it was really cute, and the kids were like, oh my god, we made a rainbow. And so they're like, and then they had these like touch like little they're like these buttons, like these little buttons on the floor that you could like stomp on. It would make like a oh, or like animal sounds. Or on the other side, we had like a piano, and so I learned this trick from a friend. If you touch specific specific spots the right way, you can make it play "I Love You." So I would go there and I would bring a kid and I'd be like, "Watch this," and I would go ding, ding, ding.
Period.
And the people are like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, thank you. I'm like, Barney, how did you do that? It's magic.
From a costume performer's aspect, how hard is it to like? Obviously, you can't speak, but like when you on days where like your allergies are flaring up or you're sick or whatever, like how hard is it to be like, okay, I need to cough, but I know it's going to ruin the illusion. It's going to ruin everything.
So that has happened on multiple occasions because, we're humans. Things are going to happen. You could be like meeting somebody and then like saliva goes down the wrong pipe and you're like, and you'll just do it out of nowhere. And it has happened when I've meted people, whether it be Universal or Disney. And we were trained that if you have to cough, go this, but make sure you're coughing within the realm of your character. So like, let's say if you were hanging out with Minnie Mouse, if Minnie had to cough, she wouldn't go, 1 second. She would go, you make it like, make sure that it's like in a register that matches that character's voice. So for Barney, like I would like, be meeting people and then something would happen. I'd go, oh, 1 second. and I would jump or something to kind of be like, I'm excited about something. So I would cough, and then I would, or maybe do a twirl like while coughing. And they're like, "Oh, Barney, that was such a nice spin," and I'm like, "Thank you."
That's so funny. You ate that up because one thing about Barney that's so funny that I still like, even if looking at it today, that man chuckled at everything. If you look
Everything.
in live in New York City, he's like, Winkster, why did you
Like
steal the bag?
literally, it's like, when you're moving that bike bar,
Who loves to play tricks and games? Like,
you're going,
He's like falling out, bro.
like I'm like, he's laughing at everything. Everything is funny to Barney. And it could be like,
Winkster.
so that's why
I ain't seen that piece of crap in 20 years.
and that's why a holiday in the park with Barney was so exhausting, especially like it was hard on the neck because if you're doing 4 or 5 shows a day, because he's like, oh, we're gonna have a stupendous time together. And then he's like, it's baby Bob. I'm like,
really
and so
think he
I'm like going,
laughed
it's
after
baby
everything.
Bob. I'm
Yeah.
like, by the end of the day, my neck muscles would be sore. I would have like fragments of like the towel in between my teeth, so I had to floss every now and then because particles from the towel would be in between my gums. Because Holiday in the Park with Barney, they were amped. They were lit
dentist-
in that vocal booth.
Your dentist must hate you. You're an orthodontist.
But there's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. They're like, no, actually, it's not even my dentist. It's the chiropractor. It's like I was going to see like how my body is doing, and they were like trying to give me an alignment, and they're like, bro, were you in a car accident? And I'm like, no. And they're like, your spine is absolutely wild. And they're like, and then I told them what I do.
scoliosis?
They were like, huh?
Yeah, scoliosis.
I don't think I do, but it's just like it's your spine's supposed to be a certain way. They're like, it could eventually maybe, but like as far as I know, I'm fine. They're like, so do you have plans on stopping? And I'm like, and this was when I was going on tour with Sesame Live. I'm like, I literally have a contract and I leave next week. They're like, okay, well, be careful. So that's why I say, like, it's a very selfless act because you're putting your body through so much weight and you're contorting your body in such a way. Like Joyner is absolutely wild because
He's
these
amazing.
360s, I've done 360. I don't think I have any, unfortunately, I didn't have any video. I need to see if I have any videos, but I've done 360s. And y'all, I tip my hat because that man would execute it flawlessly. And I got all the way around, but then you have to make sure you stop the costume because in the momentum of you spinning, landing, it'll go boom and it will cause you to like, maybe if you're disoriented, it'll make you like, lose your balance. So he was able to bust them out 3 in a row. He's wild.
Yeah, we give a lot. Well, I sometimes carry a lot of crap sometimes because he kind of lowered his
more
performance
tame.
in the later years.
he kind
But
of
I
did,
get it because
kind of did it the same way Joyner did. The only difference with Joyner was when Joyner would jump, he didn't always complete a 360, but like when he would land, he would finish the spin. Like you're saying, if you don't stop it, he's going to continue moving. So he would always complete the spin. Carrie didn't. He would jump, and wherever the suit stopped, he stopped.
So
he stopped. That's so right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes almost do a whole nother spin.
Yeah.
The boy knew he could spin. You knew he could jump and spin like in the same place. That's so. I didn't realize that until you said something. Because Joyner would like spin, and then maybe he would have been around here, but he spun right back in front of us. And Carrie did a whole like jump and landed smack dab where he started. But I really do not. I've done it a couple of times, and I don't know if it was from me working multiple jobs, but it's like, you gotta be, especially doing 5 shows, and they're very like one right after the other. And the one thing about character work and what I had to learn is that you also have to take care of your body. So if your body's like, we can't do this today, do not force it to do something because you could wreck yourself. And Barney and all these other characters are forever, but we only have this one body. So make sure that when you're doing suit work or character work, you are going home and you're massaging yourself. You are taking Epsom salt baths, doing whatever you need to do so that you're recharged and give the best performance that you can give.
For
you
sure.
know, moving forward, you know.
For sure.
Well, we're
Yeah.
at like 2 hours now. But before we finish this up, this has been great. But
Oh
Typical, yeah.
no.
there's a few questions that I starred from the people in the comments that I wanted to make sure we asked before we
Yes.
close this off. And I'll just go with the first one that I have here from Jaden, because you kind of just started talking about it a little bit. But his question is, what advice would you give to anyone who's trying to get into costume performing? I believe he was saying in the comments that he does like Chuck E. Cheese right now. But if you want to do it on a larger scale, like amusement parks or touring, what's the advice that you would give to them?
Wait, 1 second. What is that? What is that photo? Was that Barney on a beach? Was that a real photo?
Yeah,
what is that?
That's from the booking.com ad.
Okay, never mind.
Booking.com.
Okay.
He thought it was something special.
I was like,
what
is
is
that
he doing
AI?
now?
When did that happen?
When did it happen?
I would say for anyone starting off wanting to do costume character work, first of all, study videos of other performers, because it's always helpful to get a visual, like for visual reference. Me personally, I would always look at Tokyo Disneyland performers because they are absolutely wild, and the stuff they're able to do with their bodies inside those things are insane. I would also say find a way to, because anybody can just put on a suit and just, you know, phone it in, but have a connection with that character. See a part of yourself in that character. And when you do that, you're able to marry yourself to the character you're playing. Like I could see myself, of course, I see myself in Barney, I see myself in Goofy or Tigger. Like I see a lot of myself in that, and also know their legacy, know like how much they mean to people, look at, you know, the media that surrounds them, and also just practice. I was in the living room all the time with my brother. We would do like this Russian roulette thing where we had something on our phone. We would do Disney shows and we'd be like, okay, which character are we going to do this one? Okay, so we're going to do Minnie. Okay, Mickey. And we would just do a whole show and just like, you know, just go for it. Also, if you're performing in a live show, marry your audio, because that's when everything really shines through. Because if you know every single beat and you hit every, like from like even music going into when a character is speaking and you're active listening, you could probably be thinking before the character says something. That helps your character come to life even more. So marrying your soundtrack, because I was a puppet captain on Sesame Street Live, and that's the advice I gave to my friends. I would tell them like, hey, go back and listen to the soundtrack, listen to when your character is speaking, listen to the line before them, love the music. You have to love the music you're listening to, because you're going to be doing the show over and over and over again. And a lot of people that would just get tired, they're like, oh, I can't stand this music. And even though you might get tired of it, you got to kind of love it, you know? You got to kind of love what you're dancing to. And even if you are tired, find somebody in the audience to give you life, because there will be somebody there to give you life. So
That's
So-
good.
I
And
think
then
I
this
was
question-
okay.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah.
Okay.
This other question, I feel like we already know the answer, I think, because if not, you would have put it in your story. But Isaiah asks, have you ever been trained by Carrie or Joyner when it came to being Barney?
No.
Maybe from watching
Carrie
the
was
shows.
Carrie was definitely at the opening, and I heard stories that he was at the opening. There was actually, sorry, sidebar, there was a VHS in the trailer that had rehearsal footage of them rehearsing for the show. So you could see everybody rehearsing like in this trailer to the show. And I think Carrie was there, because then it was Carrie and then somebody else. But yeah, he trained everybody, and then you know those people then go ahead and train the newer people. And yeah, I was trained by another wonderful Barney performer. He was the one that was, you know, doing the night. And he was equally as wonderful. But no, I wish I would have gotten trained by one of them, especially Joyner.
I mean, you could technically say you did from watching the show.
You're right. You're
I
right.
mean-
They also no, they also had like a VHS of like a Barney live show that was in this arena, just like for if you needed like inspiration, and it was of Joyner.
Oh.
And it was like, it was wild. It was his name Barney Live. I don't know where he was, but it was a stadium full of people, and they were playing the Barney Live in New York City. Whatever that, I think Andrew had posted. Remember when Barney would do those like events? I think it was a holiday event, and they did like it had the opening from
Oh,
Barney Live in New York City.
yeah.
That's what he was
I
doing,
think I
and
know
he
what
was
Oh,
in
he's
this
okay.
arena
I think I know what he's
full
talking
of people. It was mind-boggling. I thought they were going to see like this rock. It was all for Barney. Barney probably for the people all the way up there. He was probably a dot, but it was in this arena.
Wow.
Crazy.
And
As
yeah,
as a former, body actor, and when you see like others outside of the people you worked with who perform as Barney,
yeah.
um, what do you think about the new person doing it for the like the classic skits when they do like collaborations? Like we mentioned Booking.com, they did a line of
Hmm.
Barney's World kid smoothies. He did a commercial for that. What do you think of the person doing that now?
Um, no shade, no tea, because I'm glad everybody gets an opportunity to like um bring I'm happy that performers have an opportunity to perform. But the thing is that I wish, because Barney has a specific integrity about him, and just years and years, there were people that have been affiliated with Barney in some way. Whether you had been a part of the TV show, whether you're like Lauren, who came from the show in the parks and then started doing the TV show, there's this nuance where, like, when Barney would make an appearance, that's the authentic Barney that you're getting. You have people that know their way around that costume and how to move it. And when when you don't get in contact with somebody from the show, or just using anybody that are people that are right there and still ready, but you go with somebody else, Barney starts to look like a regular mascot character. And there's a difference between
Yeah.
a mascot character
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
and what Barney was. And again, no shade, no tea, but there's just some things that are just it's missing. We're missing some of that energy. And there's times I've seen in the video where like he's moving the mouth a little bit more, and you could tell from like the Valentine's Day one up until like the recent one in Booking.com, he's using the mouth a lot more. I'm just I just need a little bit of more energy for my
And
taste.
yeah, and that's what we've been saying. I feel like it's more of a corporate decision for why he's been tamed down so much, mainly because that's one of the only few costumes left, and it's very expensive. And I'm sure they're like,
They
okay,
are
don't do too much because if we break this thing, we don't know how to fix it.
fix it.
And then also, Karan brought up a great point. This movie they've been trying to get off the ground for years now. Yeah. He made a good point that like since all these like production companies are under it, A24 is doing it and whatnot. There's a high
Yeah, it's wild.
possibility that he might be like a CG character or like something in the vein. Like they kind of like what they did with
Don't do it.
kind of what they did with Clifford. How like you saw the
Oh
behind
yeah,
the
I
scenes, it
forgot
was
about
just
that
a
one.
guy like carrying like a puppet around, and then in the movie he's just like this giant demon puppy.
I mean, Clifford,
Yeah, like Demon Puppy.
Christopher Robin,
Mhm.
like they all are just CG and animated now.
I think it would, in my opinion, it'd be very hard to mess something up such as this movie, because I feel like tapping into that nostalgia, and maybe they might think it's like a tradition. Like, of course we would do a movie like that, but I think like, and I know some people might cringe, but like when I saw Christopher Robin, I loved that. I loved what they did with the Pooh
Yeah.
characters, and like it's like seeing an old friend. I always thought it was like maybe somebody that did get bullied, for liking Barney, and maybe he forgot about that childlike imagination, like
Exactly.
wonder, like that we get, like that, what the way we think as children, and like he's grown up too fast. So like even like a Mary Poppins Returns with one of the Banks children, like not really embracing their inner child and leaving a lot of that behind to be more of a grown-up, and of that
Yeah.
stuff never really leaves. I feel like that's really hard to mess something up, and I think that can hit a nerve to everybody who was bullied with Barney, or other people that might have forgotten about him
Yeah.
in the past, that
Yeah.
might strike a
Well, that's what
specific chord.
We said the same thing. Like that, if they
Yeah.
took a page out of the book of like what they did with Christopher Robin, even
Hmm.
the story, I always say it, the storyline they used for Barbie would have paired perfectly with a character like Barney. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So if they go in that
Barney
kind of
was
vein,
very good. Mhm.
yeah, if they go in that
Mhm.
sort of a like that, look through the lens like of or scope that way, it could be a good movie. They just
Yeah,
haven't made any good choices with Barney that I feel confident that they'll do that.
And to
yeah, I
piggyback off you,
really would.
Karan.
Oh, go ahead, yeah.
Well, to piggyback off you, Karan, what made Christopher Robin the movie so beautiful was like the whole notion of this grown man who's like way past like his childhood and whatnot. Like he's having this psychotic break, and so he's imagining these characters he used to play with as a kid. Now later on in the movie, they confirm that they're real, but within that same vein,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
But I wonder, could it be driving in a car? Driving in a car. We love driving in a car. Driving in a car. I messed it up. Was it driving or riding?
Writing.
I think they sang it both ways.
No.
What episode they were in.
Oh dear, take my Barney card away.
Hey yo.
That's it. He's not a real fan.
I'm really hoping without it.
Everybody, wow, this is wonderful. But I really hope they don't do any CG. Like, stop that. Just people want to see things authentically the way that it was. Like, because if you put something in 3D, like in CG, like people are automatically they're gonna forget about the story and they're gonna be like, he's CG. This isn't what we're used to.
That image isn't real.
Exactly.
Like,
Absolutely.
if they did bring the suit, I could see them do like a little CG touches, like make the ankles, fully connected, move the eyes a little bit.
However,
I could see that.
You don't need to if you go back and you get the actual people who know how to use a suit.
Literally.
Bring in Joyner, you don't have to CGI.
They're all
it.
there.
Do it. Yeah,
all there.
Hey,
Like
what
everybody's
I'm
still
noticing-
here, so it's.
I also don't want to see a Barney movie. I don't think we've talked about this before, but I also don't want to see a Barney movie without the other dinos.
Me
Like,
either.
I don't want a Barney solo movie. Like, we already had that once, and it's just weird. You know what I mean? Like, they should also because they also are part of those kids' imagination. That it'll just be. But I can see them, because we don't see BJ and Baby Bop. Or Riff suits ever. You only see Barney. So it's like, where are
Barney.
they? Do they have them? Would they put them in a movie? Probably.
And I doubt they make them. I doubt they sit there and fund to produce.
If anything, they might make references, or they might be at the end, or like a cameo, like even a shorter cameo than the Great Adventure was. I love me some Great Adventure, but what'd you say,
Ronnie? I don't know.
Oh, I was just gonna say they'll have the same role that they have in Barney's world, but that's all.
Oh my gosh! I'm like, talk more.
Ronnie, I don't know how. I'm personally not a fan of the whole. Like the stuff they do on like Broadway with the whole humans operating puppets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they do for like Paw Patrol and Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, from like Frozen,
That's why I'm like, if they do like a live show on one of these Mattel attractions,
that's how it'll be. The little dinos will definitely be puppets. I guarantee
they don't do that.
Yeah.
I guarantee they will be.
Because the meet and greet. The meet and greets now are just cutouts. Like they'll have the Barney suit, and then
which is absolutely wild to me. They
said
like Barney and friends, and I'm like,
and that's a promotion. That's why they always promote it. It's like, okay, yeah, come meet Barney and his friends live at this thing, and then it's just cutouts.
It's just a
they're
piece
just
of
so speechless. They're so excited to see you. They're just speechless.
That's so sick.
The friends are talking about just like the other friends.
How tall is this new Barney from Barney's World? Like, is he 6 feet tall, or is he like, I have not been able to compare.
Know. For the longest, we thought he was a child.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because like he seems like he's the average size of what all other walk around mascot suits are.
Yeah.
With the exception of a Goofy or something, they're usually skinnier and taller. Most of them, so like when you see this Barney at like Mattel, like or those branding events or whatever, the Peppa Pig suits and everything, they're all the exact same size. And I don't know what that average size is, but I can't imagine. I assume it's probably like that typical like 5'5" to 5'8" kind of.
I was going to say 5'5" to 5'8",
which is interesting because the Barney's World, the Barney's World mascot costume that they have for the new Barney was made by the same people that have made other normal Barney costumes before for other. So it's weird that like the difference that would have had to have been like a specially requested thing to have him a different size because they've done different Barney costumes before World.
Well, that's a reminder, like, well, he's tall, so we should make him not imposing, but like tall enough to suggest yes, this is a T-Rex, even though he doesn't really look like.
That's why I'm thinking that if he's like a 5'4" 5-5 sort of situation, and they do a live show, I can see them using Billy and Baby Bop as like those type of puppets to
Yep.
match his height, because
It's gonna be
they
so
all can't be the
distracting.
same size.
Well, and
That's going
they
to
did this.
distract me.
They did the same thing. They did a Clifford live touring show one time only, and they did the same thing. Clifford was like a giant blow up puppet, right?
And
So
then
like he
Cleo
was
and
massive,
T-Bone were small.
and T-Bone and Cleo were those little puppets. And this was back in like 2002. So before that became like an across the board kind of average way to do shows, they were already doing it to make sure that there was a the difference in height between those puppies and Clifford.
How
So
long
I
is
I need to
Clifford?
look at
It's
these
like-
receipts.
It's
Oh
like
my
if they did like
gosh.
it's like if they did like a Muppet live show, and instead of bringing like the actual Muppet puppets, they go, all right, we need to save some money, so we need to do like one of these like human controlling the puppets behind, and it's kinda like,
Controlling the
dude,
puppet thing.
we
Yeah.
know what these characters are. Why would you do this?
Right.
Here's a picture right here. I'll show you guys of
I
Clifford
didn't know there was a Clifford live show.
How long has Clifford
Yeah,
been
I saw-
around?
since
Oh,
like the 90s.
Long time.
What?
I watched the show all the time before school. It was really great.
See that picture
Oh
right
my
there?
God.
He's a massive puppet that you don't see. He's entirely in a
Oh.
costume, like a suit.
Oh my god, my arms.
Oh, I
Wow.
love that.
But
I
then
love that.
they have this one where they did have them like in costumes like this. But this show that I
Is that a
saw
book?
was literally,
Is that a book? I see
Oh
Scholastic.
my god.
that's somebody's custom made thing.
Oh.
It was from an actual live show though.
Oh my
But you
gosh.
can see here how they were like the other dogs are puppets that people were actually on the stage with them.
Which I
And
can,
then Clifford
yeah.
was in a full costume.
Did they
And
get
the
Kill
thing is, that's
Mitchell?
supposed to be the magic of puppetry, because if they're doing their job, you're supposed to not even pay attention to the performer. You're supposed to just that's the magic of puppetry. You're supposed to look directly
Yeah.
at them. I know that's what they've been doing with this Bluey live show that was on tour. It's like the same situation with them controlling, the puppets and people behind them. But I don't know. It's hit or miss. It
Dude.
depends.
Here's another picture. of
T-Bone. Oh god.
Mm.
Oh
Um,
wow.
Look
Oh,
at
wow.
T-Bone.
T-Bone and Cleo are also getting the Baby Bop and BJ effect, because they're not in this new show. They were
There's a new
explicit in the
show?
movie.
Well, but they're replaced
Hell.
with other dogs now in this show. There's
Oh,
there's two dogs again, but they're completely different characters.
I know
Wait,
the
what?
Clifford
What is
fandom in
this?
shambles.
The rebooted Clifford that came out on Prime, I think, a couple years back.
With that trash
I never
drawn
knew
like
that.
animation.
I hate it. It's more drawn like the original Clifford books, but it's like a musical
Yeah.
series now. Like Emily can talk to Clifford,
doesn't talk.
actually hear him and stuff. Like,
Oh,
Does he talk?
What?
yeah,
mm.
Really?
yeah, I believe so.
Because I watched a few episodes and he didn't say a word. He just barked.
Maybe I
What?
have to go back and watch again then, because I'm almost sure that like she could hear him, like they could communicate with each other, which is different than what it was before too.
Who
But
are these
Clifford's
dogs?
world.
I
Yeah,
recently
It's
found
not
out that
T-Bone and Cleo. Who are they?
And that airs on PBS now too. So like that's like the new all around Clifford show.
We'll be doing the
Oh,
Clifford Rain
no.
podcast.
Yeah, the Clifford, the red
Clifford
Rain.
Ray,
Red
Red
So sick of Clifford's world, dude.
yeah.
Ray, Clifford
I found out-
World.
I found out recently that I found out recently that Kel Mitchell was the voice of
Was the
T-Bone.
voice of
I was like,
T-Bone?
wait,
Yeah.
really?
What?
I was like, oh, okay.
And there's
Yeah.
also
Mhm.
there's also a graphic novel if you guys want to watch.
Ew.
Why is it
Oh my
look
God,
why is
Mark.
it so small? Like what is happening?
My
Clifford
that
the
the
phone.
movie?
I was
Dog,
like, what's
the
happening?
movie graphic novel.
I was like,
Okay,
no
yeah, that's what it
change.
Which is weird because he kind of looks
The
like
worst of Clifford
how
podcast.
Clifford looks like now, but in the movie,
The
he's a
worst
puppy.
of Clifford
He's a giant
podcast is
puppy.
wild.
That's like one of those things if you go back in time and like you kick a rock and that changes
And
the
that
entire
alters
course of
everything.
history.
Changes everything.
The worst Clifford episode ever podcast.
We're sitting
It's
there
all
arguing,
so bad.
we're
No.
sitting there arguing because someone didn't release Clifford Masters.
You know, it's all because they didn't get Kel Mitchell back. That's the problem. That's their problem.
No,
Yeah, Seth Rogen instead.
bro. Speaking of Clifford, I don't know if y'all know.
Is it?
It's this one episode that like went viral on TikTok not that long ago, and it had me falling out because it was like Cleo and T-Boy were walking. They're talking to this dog through the fence, and the dog. They're talking to the dog through the fence, and they can only see the face. So then they come out. They're walking to the front of the fence. The dog comes out the fence. The dog had no legs. Like I think it only had.
Oh, that episode!
I
I
think it only
remember
had,
that
like,
episode.
it had like 2 legs, and then Cleo's face. The dog comes out, and Cleo is like
I can laugh at this because I'm a cat person.
Yeah,
No,
you have a cat too.
I'm so mad. I gotta find it, bro.
Oh,
Dude, that
That's wild.
man.
That's
Real quick,
insane.
I didn't see Clifford's really big movie when it came out. Is it any good?
Did
Did
anyone?
you see that?
Yes, it is.
I really
saw it,
liked
like,
it.
once.
It made it was like very cinematic. Like it gave
Yeah.
it a very different feel than it was different animation, like much cleaner and crisper than what the television series was. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think it's
Wayne
somewhere
Brady's in that movie.
free. I think Prime. Yeah, Wayne Brady's in it.
What?
Yeah, he plays the was it a weasel?
Is it the dog?
So
No,
Like
it's-
or whatever.
He's half the antagonist, half protagonist. He's like jealous of Clifford the whole time.
He's the like raccoon or whatever, right? Like whatever
Yeah,
the circus thing.
I
is.
remember that.
I said, I'm Wayne Brady.
I found.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. Like, you should check it out if you haven't seen it. If you like Clifford, check it out. It's on Prime, I believe, for free, and Tubi.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Oh, I remember that
I
dog.
remember this.
Yeah.
I remember this.
I remember that dog. Because he's like a new character for a while. Like he showed up in a few
They're
episodes.
like scared of him. They're like,
We are stunned.
Oh, like her face.
Look at T
look at him. He's still looking at him.
Dude, bro, he dipped.
Well, we run around.
We
We
run
don't have to run that is.
T-Bone's like, ah, here it goes.
No,
Here it goes.
yo, he put the screw in the tuna.
Oh man, great Keenan and
Yeah.
Kel callback. That was perfect.
That's wild.
I put the screw in the
Yo,
tuna.
he put the screw in the tuna.
When they burn
Who loves
when they
orange
burn
dog food? T-Bone loves orange dog.
when they burned the house down and Keenan got a colander, he was like, "Oh, the bowl with the holes in it." Like the fire to burning the whole house.
Nah, bro.
Now we have to start Keenan and Kel history fans.
I'm about to watch it right now.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Bro, make me an act, bro.
We're putting watermarks
Yo.
on like all the Keenan and Kel
Every-
screenshots that shouldn't leave
Yeah.
the page.
Yeah.
It's just a
Y'all know
cutout
they
of
talk
Julio
to each other
dreads, 3 dreads across the whole.
I know they didn't talk to each other for a while,
Rest in peace.
only
Cool.
because they both auditioned for SNL at the same time,
Yeah,
and obviously Keenan got it, and Kel was like, "So."
he was
Just
he
right.
was butthurt for a while.
He's a
Went
preacher
to
now, right?
Chicago, got shot.
I think so.
Oh dear.
Woo! That was a good
Anyway.
one.
All right, man. It's 2:24. We've been on here for almost 2.5
Oh
hours.
my gosh.
This is what happens when you
That's-
just have fun.
I love this. Y'all are such a treat and a dream. Thank you for this. This is wonderful.
Man, that was all
Thank
you.
you.
All you.
Time flies when you're having fun, or when you're flying, whatever you said.
There you go.
Oh, before I go, however, I wanted to show you my brother one Christmas gifted me a whole day in the park with Barney like haul. Like he designed all of this. So he designed this one time. He just got the logo and he re-rendered it, and yeah, this was for my this is for Christmas. So it was like, because I really loved this because I would see it on some of the videos, and I forgot what the back says. Here, I'm gonna turn back. I don't know what it says.
Imagination can take
Wow.
you anywhere.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And then he gave me. I have a regular shirt of it, but then I have
Those spots.
another one of these. This is like what I take to go to the gym. I have a regular T-shirt of that, and it's like from the Day in the Park with Barney, and he put spots on the back.
That's
Wow.
cool.
Ooh,
That's
cool.
Isn't that cute?
The show accurate spot.
Badass.
Oh my
And
goodness.
he was like, he don't play. He was like, I looked at picture after picture. I made sure. He's like, hey, I think those are spot accurate too. And I was like, go ahead. And so, but this one, he gave me this. It is a Barney bag tote that I take everywhere with me because I love a bag, and it's literally everything. So the bottom says, "With your mind, your eyes can see. Imagine the place you want to be."
Wow.
He put the Barney logo. He's wild. I love him so much. Imagination can take you anywhere. What else? So then you just undo these, and then these pockets, it says Shimmery Shimbara on them. It's really cute, and I love it so much. But I just had to share because I haven't really shared it.
How much he commissioned on them for?
What'd you say?
I said how much he commissioned in that little t-shirt.
Okay, so here's the thing. The website, because he was like, he had it all set up, but that website went out of business because of tariffs. So there you go.
Shout out.
I wouldn't
Who loves Orange Presidents?
That's to me.
Kaylin loves Orange Presidents.
Oh,
No, I do
my
not.
God.
No, I do not. Do not. No, I hate that man.
There goes
our
it's
conservative
devastation.
fan.
By the way,
Like-
Malachi, you should start boarding up your house. He really wants to tackle Baltimore next, or with Chicago.
Chicago, I heard Chicago and Baltimore, I believe.
Dang. Let me. I'm gonna just.
That's why I
They
sent
don't
you
like
like your
that.
governor was
Every
like,
five days, my body.
you're not gonna do that.
The calm, refreshing Barney music, and we're just talking about the tariffs.
Oh, no.
Our country and our
I feel like a lot of people could stand to watch a lot of Barney and PBS
Probably, yeah, now.
broadcasting. You know,
All right, guys.
You know, my
Getting
wife,
into-
Ivanka, told me she loves me, and I said,
before we
I
before
love
we
me
get
too.
before we get
you
to
are wild.
before we let you get
And-
too far into it. All right. Well, no. Thank you guys for
So
tuning in
good.
to this episode. Ronnie, let people know where they can find you, how they can support you.
Yes, I love my Instagram. So if you could follow me there, that'd be wonderful. It's at It's Ronnie Magic. So at
Awesome.
It's Ronnie Magic, that's where you can see all of my little Chuck E. Cheese escapades, and I'll post about my life from time to time, and maybe some stuff about McDonald's. I don't know, maybe.
Cool. All right. And then Malachi, again, tell people how they can find you.
You can find me at Kai Got Fans, KAIGTFANC_.
Dope. Hedge.
Hedge on Stage on YouTube, Hedge on Stage on Instagram, Hedge on Stage on TikTok.
There you go. And Kaylin.
Let's dance.
Oh,
I got
That was actually kind of good.
That was really good.
I was like,
that was.
also,
That was
just so you know, I can't hear
We don't have
any
time
music.
for it.
I'm just dancing with you. I
Find
can't
me
hear
here on
anything.
YouTube. As of today, I hit 2,000 subscribers.
Woohoo!
Duh, congratulations! I meant to tell you that. Congratulations!
Thank
to
you.
the club.
Thank you so much. As always, find me on Instagram at Tee-Riffic Tributes, where I post, updates, news, stuff like that. So go on the lookout.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you have fun. We will see you on the next one. See you.